Hey, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
We have finally made it to this day. Can I get a round of applause?
All righty.
Yes. The time for stress will be done shortly, and it'll start back again in 2 months. So
All righty.
let's start with introductions like we always do.
Good morning. I am Christine Smith, Clerk to the Board. Welcome.
Good morning. I am Arlissa Easton, Deputy Clerk to the Board.
Good morning. I am Mecklenburg County Commissioner Elaine Powell, representing Huntersville, Davidson, Cornelius, and North Charlotte. Good to see everyone.
Good morning. I'm Susan Rodriguez McDowell, elected by the people of District 6.
Good morning, I'm Laura Meyer, and I represent District 5.
Good morning. My name is Lee Altman, County Commissioner serving at large, and I also serve as Vice Chair. Welcome.
Good morning again and welcome. My name is Mark Jarrell. I represent District 4, also serve as Chairman of the Board.
Good morning. Welcome. I am Arthur Griffin, serving you as your County Commissioner at large.
Good morning. My name is Vilma D. Leak, and I represent the most powerful district in the county. That's District 2. Thank you for waiting for me to get here.
Absolutely.
Good morning. I'm George Dunlap, elected by the people of District 3.
Good morning, Tyrone Wade, County Attorney.
Good morning and welcome, everyone. I'm Mike Bryant, Mecklenburg County Manager.
And the executive team.
Good morning, Dr. Kim Campbell, Deputy County Manager.
Good morning. Leslie Johnson, Deputy County Manager.
Good morning, Michelle Attree, Deputy County Manager.
Good morning, Derek Ramos, Deputy County Manager and Chief of Staff.
Thank you, everyone. If you'll stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We're going to start this meeting the way we do with all of our meetings. We're going to make sure that we level set with our mission, our vision, and our board budget priorities for FY'27. Mission is to serve Mecklenburg County residents by helping improve their lives and community. Our vision is that Mecklenburg County will be a community of pride and choice for people to live, learn, work, and recreate. Our board budget priorities are as follows: economic development, education, environmental stewardship, health equity and wellness, services for seniors, workforce development, and reducing racial disparities. And so today is certainly an extremely important day. There's a lot of work that has gone into getting us to this day. And again, we are appreciative as a board to all the staff and department heads and everyone that's contributed to the budget. There are a couple of items that I do want to just address up top. I will go to the manager in just a minute. We'll get an update on a request that was made by Commissioner Dunlap and that other commissioners certainly supported, and that was an analysis with respect to Medic, and the manager will tee us up. When we do get to the actual straw vote, most of us serve on boards, or some of us serve on boards that may be in the budget. When it comes time, and I'll remind us, I'm just giving a level set right now, when it comes time to vote in that particular section or for that particular item, if you serve on that board, just do not vote. You don't have to ask to recuse yourself, because we'll do that when we get to the June 2nd meeting. But for today, just don't vote if you serve on a board that is being funded, that you have to vote on. Yes.
So how would that vote necessarily be recorded? Normally, if somebody doesn't vote, it would be a yes vote. So how would I know the difference?
Well, that we would simply just not count that particular vote because of the conflict. Potential.
Thank you.
Yes. Did that answer your question, George?
I think so.
Without being recused.
So it's counted without being recused?
Chairman.
Not counted?
Not counted.
Yes.
Not counted. Okay.
Well, Adrian, will you tell us, will you say if you are on the board of Central Line now, you can't vote on this? Like, whatever it is.
Won't we see it on the, we'll see on the screen what we're voting on, and so we'll know.
That's right. And
Yeah,
and
he's
you
gonna
all
go through
should,
the process.
will know what board you are a part of.
Right.
And so you'll have to make,
I'm just making sure they're all broken out.
yes,
They are.
Okay.
make sure that's clear.
Thank you.
So our process will be, it'll be very similar to what we've done in the past. So we, to your point, I'm glad you brought that up. We'll see everything that's up there that we're supposed to be
Thank you.
voting on at that time. So, any other questions? Okay, with that said, let me turn it over to the manager.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So this morning, we're going to kick off with our Budget Director, Adrian Cox, providing you an overview of the process for today, including covering the documents that you have before you also. So he's going to give you an orientation, full orientation of that information. And then I'm going to ask the chair to recognize Deputy County Manager, Chief of Staff Derek Ramos, as well as Medic CEO John Peterson, known as JP, to present to you not only an analysis in response to your request, but also a recommendation for your consideration. Then after that, we'll hand it off to you all to go through the exercise, which, as you noted, Chair, is consistent with the prior years. Adrian?
All right, thank you, County Manager Bryant. Good morning, Chairman Jarrell, members of the board, and county staff. In just a moment, we're going to begin the straw voting process on the manager's recommended budget. The purpose of straw voting is for the board to make changes that they would like to see to the manager's recommended budget and to finalize the fiscal year 2027 budget for adoption. As a reminder, here is the process for straw voting. When we transition to our workbook here in just a moment, we will go over the budget in sections. With each section, board members may make a motion to change the recommended budget. Any change that increases the ongoing costs should be matched with a corresponding decrease if the goal is to avoid a tax rate change overall. A second is not required for straw votes. After the motion, the board can discuss, ask clarifying questions as needed, and when ready, following discussion, the board will take straw votes. If a majority approves the motion, we will update our workbook to reflect that action. The final action by the board is to direct staff to develop the fiscal year 2027 budget ordinance for the board's adoption on June 2nd. There is one technical adjustment to the recommended budget, and this is one that I mentioned last week. This adjustment would increase the tax rate for the Mint Hill Fire Protection Service District from 7 cents to 7.5 cents. And it would increase the total budget by $46,545. We received this request late in the process, so it was not included in our recommended budget. And this adjustment will have no impact on the county dollars, but it will have an impact on the total budget. The adjustment has already been added to the straw vote workbook that we're going to be using today. So as long as the board is in agreement, then no further action is needed for us to incorporate this into the adopted budget. At your seat, you should find a copy of a set of tables that mirror the straw vote workbook. There are also reference numbers in the table beginning on the second page. And you can use this to help make your straw votes and help us to tie it to the workbook. The responses to the questions that we have received about the budget were sent out earlier this week, and you have a copy of those responses at your seat as well. And before we shift to demonstrating the workbook, as the manager said, we're going to give DCM Ramos an opportunity to speak in more detail about one of the questions.
Good morning, Chair Jarrell, County Commissioners, County Manager Bryant, and County staff. Today, JP and I will provide the board with additional information and context regarding the County Manager's FY'27 recommended budget for Mecklenburg's EMS agency known as MEDIC. Before I begin, I want to reiterate Mecklenburg County's support for MEDIC and our appreciation to all of its employees who serve our residents each and every day. First, I want to level set with the board that MEDIC is a joint government agency with its own compensation structure, set and developed independently by MEDIC to attract and retain MEDIC employees. MEDIC develops its own salary pay bands, performance pay, and annual merit processes for its employees. Second, while it is easy to compare minimum wages between the county and MEDIC, just be mindful that this, of course, does not provide the full picture of total compensation that each employee pays. As Adrian outlined in his response to a commissioner question, each agency provides different bonuses and incentives to pay their employees, including different starting pay, bonuses, merit pay, and even incentive pay benefits. So while each organization has its own compensation structure, it is difficult to make apples-to-apples comparison between the take-home pay for employees. Third, under County Manager Bryant's leadership, the county had to rethink how we do budgeting as an organization to address critical needs. At the February 5th, 2026 FY'27 budget kickoff, in which all department directors, agency heads, and budget staff were in attendance, County Manager Bryant communicated his intent to increase the minimum pay for all county employees within his recommended budget. Our Office of Management and Budget then initiated and conducted a deep dive budget review of every county department budget line for opportunities to reduce costs and to strengthen financial stewardship. Working with county departments, OMB identified $38 million in adjustments to expenses, revenue, and opportunities to leverage fund balance. The $38 million in funding identified by county departments was utilized to support the proposed minimum wage salary increase for county employees. It is worth acknowledging that all of the $38 million in identified funding adjustments were put forward by county departments as options to help support the manager's recommended budget. No partner agencies had contributions towards the $38 million identified in the manager's budget. Next, the county manager supported MEDIC's budget request to the county to utilize funding from MEDIC's proposed fee increases in FY'27 to support an average merit increase of 4% for MEDIC employees, as well as to support market adjustments for certain positions. MEDIC's budget request to the county was informed by an analysis by Willis Towers Watson, or WTW, an independent third-party firm who conducted a review to ensure MEDIC's current salary structure midpoints were aligned to competitive market pay levels. In FY'27, MEDIC anticipates initiating its regular 3-year study with WTW in conjunction with the Academy of International Mobile Healthcare Integrations, or AIMHI, to conduct a comprehensive benchmarking analysis of salary and total compensation for state and national peer emergency medical organizations. It is expected that this detailed assessment will provide specific salary recommendations for MEDIC staff and will be completed in time to inform MEDIC's FY'28 and the county's budget processes. Finally, the recommended budget had to balance competing priorities to support MEDIC's holistic needs now and in the future. As the board is aware, the EMS system assessment is still being finalized by the consulting firm Healthcare Strategist, and the board received an interim update at its April 21st, 2026 regular meeting. It is anticipated that the final assessment expected to be completed by July of 2027, will include recommendations that could require significant future investments from Mecklenburg County and users of MEDIC services. The county manager included a substantial down payment in his FY'27 budget request to support study-related investments at $8.5 million in new funding. $2.3 million of this amount is new ongoing funding that will be redirected to other study needs in the future, plus an additional $380,000 in new funding was included for our first responder partners, for a total new recurring county investment of $2.68 million. In addition to the county manager's recommended budget, MEDIC will also fund additional study-related capital and labor investments through other revenue streams. I will now turn it over to J.P. Peterson, Executive Director of MEDIC, to speak to the development of the final EMS assessment, the timeline for working through the assessment's recommendations, as well as a timeline for completing MEDIC's compensation survey. J.P.
Thank you, Derek. Good morning, Commissioners. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be able to speak with you this morning. So as Derek mentioned, I'll start with a brief update for you on where we are at with our EMS system study. The study consultant met with the stakeholders about a month ago or so and received recommendations and feedback that they have now incorporated into an upcoming next second draft of the study, which I anticipate we will have early next week and be able to share that with the EMS system stakeholders. As Derek mentioned, we anticipate having the final version of the study ready for review by July. So we're just a matter of a few weeks away from being able to get to that point. Once we have that, my board has directed me and my team to create a timeline and a management response to the EMS system study recommendations. And as part of that EMS management response, our attention, at least at this point, is to look at a multi-year approach to how we can implement the recommendations from the system study, as well as doing a deep dive analysis as to what we believe those recommendations will actually cost and impact MEDIC and impact the system. That will take us some time to prepare. We will be addressing our board in September with an initial discussion on that, with our plan to have a final report to my board in December, in time for us to have discussions with the county for the fiscal year 28 process. As far as our process with regard to the Aim High survey, this is a tri-annual survey that MEDIC has participated in for a very long time. And that is getting ready to kick off this June. There is already a meeting on the books for us to have with Willis Towers Watson, and actually have a board meeting with Aim High next week. And this is on the agenda for us to discuss that. A little bit more about that study. That study does a wage compensation analysis of all of the Aim High members. Aim High members are very similar in size and scope to MEDIC and similar types of EMS services. So it gives us some really valuable information about how the market rate is for wages within EMS across the country, not just in North Carolina. So this compensation study will include both North Carolina and multiple other services, and that will be ready by probably late fall, probably November timeframe. So with that, that is all I had for the report. I'll bring Derek back up.
Thank you, JP. So in conclusion, the county remains committed to partner with MEDIC to review and assess MEDIC's comprehensive needs, to include the final EMS assessment recommendations and implementation timeline, and a 3-year compensation assessment once finalized, which is all expected to be completed around January of 2027. That concludes my comments, Mr. Chair. JP, Adrian, and myself are happy to answer any questions you may have.
Well, thank you for the presentation. Let me go to, since Commissioner Dunlap made the request, let me get his comments and feedback, and then I'll go to Commissioner Powell.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Mr. Manager and staff, for doing the analysis. I think some of you got the same request that I did from some staff people from Medic about the differentiation in pay between Medic and fire and police and other people. So I asked for the study to be done so that we wouldn't be making a decision in a vacuum. Having heard what has been presented to us, it is clear to me that the comprehensive study needs to be done before we make any assessment as to what that pay ought to be. I also understand they're going to do a market analysis to ensure that the payment is in line with other Medic units to ensure that our Medic people are being paid at a comparable salary. The other thing is that while I believe they ought to be paid a livable wage, given the fact, and the historical data suggests that the director was advised when all the other directors were advised as to what was happening with pay and compensation, that request was not made. Whether that was an oversight, whether it was the fact that you didn't think it was possible, whatever the case is, that it didn't happen, the manager made his budget recommendation based on the information that he had. I support that. And given what I've been told it would cost us to raise the pay for all of the staff so that they would too be making a livable wage, over $3 million, which is not available to us. I would not use fund balance to do that. So given that, thank you so much, but I just wanted the information to be available.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Powell.
Thank you. There were 5 commissioners that asked questions about the living wage for Medic, and I appreciate all of the information, so I appreciate it. This is where we are. And I don't know how we say to Medic, you're excluded. I don't know how that we could ever do that. So I'll just say, I can talk for a long time, but I'll be brief right now. Medic deserves more than $25.53 an hour, but it's a start. This is where we are. Medic is the foundation of our emergency healthcare system. And I think of the 40 years that I've been watching ambulances bring patients to hospitals who wouldn't have survived if they didn't receive the life-saving care of the awesome people that work for Medic. Yet many of them, almost half, are compensated at a non-livable wage. I don't know how many studies you have to do, because with AI, you can just Google it, you know. I don't think it's going to take that long to figure out what a fair livable wage is. In our budget book, there's a big long paragraph about how important the living wage is, but the last sentence is the most striking. A hard-earned paycheck should yield stability and security, not anxiety. The current EMTs are starting, my understanding is, at $21.01 per hour, forcing many of them to have a second job or work overtime just to pay their bills. Paying EMTs a living wage is not simply a matter of fairness. It is an urgent public safety necessity. They make split-second life-or-death decisions. They manage heavy trauma, sustain physical and psychological toll every day. And I just want you to close your eyes and think about the people that you love, the traumas that you've seen, and think about how you expect EMTs to be there when you need them. And I just want to remember, like, 2 years ago, on April 29th, when 8 officers were shot and 1 was injured, 4 were killed, there were between, like, 14 or 15 medic personnel there. There was the SWAT medic. They were there while this crazy person was shooting with a gun from the top floor, and they stayed to make sure that they could take the injured to the hospitals. They go into these situations every day, whether it's a head-on collision, a house fire, someone pinned under a truck where the emergency brake failed. There are so many instances, babies, those kids that climb out of the grocery cart and fall and get a skull fracture. I can go through all of like real life examples of things I've seen. Kids on mountain bikes where they fall and they crash into a tree and their bones sticking out of their skin. You want medic there. What message are we sending by leaving them out of the living wage category? Despite all that they do, the trauma they endure, their pay matches entry-level retail roles. It's less than you would get paid at Amazon. It's less than you would get paid at CVS. It leads to negative consequences, but most of all, it's dispiriting. They deserve for their county commission to see the gap and stand up for them, figure it out. It's a $2.6 billion budget. $3.5 million is less. It is like, I think it's less than 0.2%. We are better than this. We cannot have a budget. We cannot walk out of this room without increasing the living wage for medic, in my opinion. Thank you.
Commissioner Rodriguez McDowell.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you guys for all the information. I understand this idea of doing a study. I support that, but at the same time, you don't need a study to tell you that a minimum wage is necessary. And so if you want to see what's needed above minimum wage, then I think the study is super helpful, and I welcome that. But the idea that we would walk out of here without medic making a minimal, I mean, it's the minimum, right, for a livable wage. I just don't think we can kick the can down the road for another fiscal year and expect them to not revolt. I would revolt. I think we can do better. And as Commissioner Powell said, in a $2.6 billion budget, $3.5 million is really a small amount. And if we can't do it, I would be willing to raise my hand for 0.000 whatever it would be of a tax increase, but I think we could find a creative way to do it through fund balance, and I would support that. My understanding is that we have enough to do that. And if we need a bridge until you guys can figure out a different way, then I would support that. And I would ask my colleagues to do the same. In my view, we can't walk out of here without medic making a living wage.
Commissioner Meyer.
Thank you. I also don't understand how a study is going to show anything different than when we already know that they need higher wages. Medic needs higher wages. And so without repeating what my colleagues just said, and I completely agree with them and appreciate what they said, I'm wondering if there is something we can do this fiscal year, possibly from fund balance, to like a bonus, for lack of a better word, to get to fiscal year 28, to give them something. It may not be what we're hoping for, but something that will push it over the edge to give them more of a living wage. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Leek.
I have a question as it relates to the funds charged the general public by medic. Where are those funds used, and how are they used?
Yes, ma'am. So all of the funds that medic generates through our fees for service are part of our budget request. Those fees for service cover about 75% or 76% of our operating revenue. The remaining 24% or so of revenue comes in the form of subsidy from the county.
So you're saying when a person has to pay $700 to ride the ambulance to get to the hospital and they can't afford it, who then foots that bill?
If they have insurance coverage, of course, we would bill insurance coverage. If they do not have insurance at all, we bill the patient directly. If the patient qualifies for charity care, we have the ability to write off that payment so that we're not trying to bill somebody who absolutely cannot afford it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So a couple of things. One, thank you for the information, the update. So colleagues, the couple things that I would say to this is we can do what we want to do. We're not asking staff or the manager, right? So if there is something that you want to do, and I heard you loud and clear, Commissioner Rodriguez-McDowell, who teed up an option that said, hey, we can increase taxes. The other option that wasn't teed up was that we can take away from something and add to it. And keep me honest if that's incorrect, Mr. Manager.
We do have that option.
But we have an option to remove if you want to add something or increase taxes. Commissioner Meyer had an option as well. The other option is to take staff's recommendation. But at the end of the day, a motion can be made, excuse me, yeah, at the end of the day, a motion can be made, it can be discussed, and it can be voted up or down. And so that's the thing. And I want to be careful how we frame things that certain members of the board may not care, because that's not fair and that's not true. We all care about everybody that does work in this county. And so if we want to tee up an option, we could certainly do that. But I don't want anybody trying to take a higher road than others because there may be a different lens. And I think discussion is fair, and I think we can figure it out. But I think, there are a lot of things. I'm not in favor of creating a structural deficit. I will say that right now. I'm not in favor of that, and I'm not going, I personally will not vote to do that.
You mean taking it from fund balance? Is that what you mean?
I'm saying if we create an option that I thought I heard would create a structural deficit, but if we take it from fund balance and we use it as a one-time expense, then yes, I'm not saying I would support that. I'm just saying in that sense. But taking it from fund balance to create a structural deficit to fund it permanently,
Right.
that would create a structural deficit. I'm not in favor of doing that personally, but it's not up to me. It's 5 members of the board. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I really appreciate everybody's heart and thinking on this. As you know, I have sort of still unsatisfied questions regarding how much we're allocating for Chromebooks to young CMS students for whom I'm not totally convinced it is good for them. I still think that that it might be a good idea for students to go to a computer lab to learn what they need to learn on how to, use the internet and so forth. I'm talking about for younger students. I personally would rather, and I think, was it $6 million for devices for CMS? So I don't know if someone can do the math for me, but what I might suggest is make the allocation for Chrome devices $2.5 million and roughly, and fund this $3.5 million for Medic because I think it's a higher priority.
So just a point of clarity. And one, I got to take this opportunity, Mr. Chair, because you mentioned you got to be careful how you frame things, and words matter. And just like Medic employees are watching, we have county employees watching as well. And when there's a statement made that Medic employees deserve more than $25.53, I would argue that county employees deserve the same consideration as well. Because we also have county employees that go into dangerous environments and risk their lives also on behalf of this organization. So I can't miss that opportunity to put that in the room because words matter. Regarding your question, that $6 million is one time. So that too will result in the structural deficit.
I understand that, but I was thinking about Commissioner Meyer's point of something to take us over to the next year. So I offer that for my colleagues' consideration.
All right, so at this point, is there a motion that someone wants to offer for us to move forward with this? Or here's another option. We can sit on it for a minute, we can go through the workbook, and we can come back to this, okay? So we won't kill it, but we'll go through, take care of everything else that we can take care of, and we'll come back to this for further discussion. Is that fair? Go ahead.
Can we ask one question first, just so we can see it?
Absolutely.
So if I need to make a motion to see, Adrian, if you could punch in the 3.5 million number, the whole number, into,
The workbook.
into the workbook for a tax increase, how much would it be?
I believe it'd be .01. Line, you have the exact number?
Oh, I've got the number here, $3,519,882.
So .11, it would
So
take your
it-
tax rate to 49.38.
Right now, it's 49.37, right?
It is 49.27 right now. It would take it to 49.38.
49.30.
What would that number be if it just stayed at 49.27 and they came in at 25.42 an hour or something like that?
We need to take that offline to try to, give us a minute to calculate that.
Get your calculators out.
What was the number you said instead of 25.53?
No, I mean, I was just saying, I was making an arbitrary number just to say, if you kept the tax rate the same and you plugged the difference in there, what would it be if the tax rate didn't change? Like, what would that number have to be? Instead of 3.5, if it was 3.4 or
You're
whatever?
backing out that 150, the rounding number.
Oh, I see. So there's about 150 some.
150.
And that is basically rounding past the 100th place on the tax
So it
rate.
would be like 3.3 million without changing the tax rate?
Actually, I believe that the tax rate we just demonstrated is what the tax rate would be if you increase their pay to 3.5.
Right. But if you don't use 3.5, let's say we use 3.3,
Still gonna be the,
Plug that in there.
it's still going to go up?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because the variance in the rounding is what is currently in the budget.
sorry, I got it.
And so when we
Got it.
start adding stuff,
I
it
got
eats
you.
into
the trigger.
Ended. I got it. Sorry, Commissioner Powell, go ahead.
It just, it gives you a visual of how small it is. It's so tiny. So I think that's something to marinate on.
That's fair. So why don't we do this? Go ahead, George, you were going to say something.
No, I'm gonna save it, because
Okay.
I'm gonna save it for.
All right. Why don't we do this? That was helpful for us to see it. Let's go through the workbook. Let's go through our exercise. This is something that we'll come back to and have further discussion and land one way or another.
And I do want to say, I appreciate that words matter. And I didn't mean in any way that Mecklenburg County employees didn't deserve, I mean, I know a lot of them deserve more than 2553. So thank you for highlighting that.
All right, so we have pulled up our straw vote workbook. Lyden just demonstrated it for you, so you see how it works. It's broken out into a couple of sections. We have this main tab, which includes education, as well as the roll-up into the larger buckets that make up the budget. The next tab that you have is for some additional details around CMS. After that, you get into a section of county programs, which is just about everything else that is funded in the county budget. And then the last section is all of the funding that is recommended using fund balance. So at this point, we'll hand it off to you all, and we'll make changes that you approve.
All right, so is it, I guess the most efficient way that we've done this in the past is just to look at each tab, look at and see if there are anyone wants any specific changes as we go through the tabs. So on this main tab, we've got CMS, all of our education recommendations on here.
Not including the 6 million, for example, fund balance.
Well, we'll go
That's
through
later.
that on the next tab, yes.
Okay.
So, Mr. Chair,
Sure.
I'm just asking to be more efficient. It appears to me that nobody has indicated that they wanted making changes in the original budget, that all the budget requests are from fund balance. And so if there are no such requests to change any of the items in the budget, then we could vote to approve that and just deal with the issues that people have.
Okay. And to that point, some of the feedback that I've received from some of our colleagues was that they wanted to go through, I agree with that point, actually. Some of our colleagues wanted to go through each and every line. So what I would say is, generally speaking, if we could go from tab to tab, if you do have a question on that tab, or you don't, then we can adopt it and move forward. Any other comments or feedback?
I like Mr. Dunlap's comments.
Okay. Mr. Powell?
So on this slide, did you want to say anything about student devices, Commissioner Altman?
Well, yes. I mean, maybe if we vote on this tab, I would like to pull out line 8 so that we can still have that in play when we return to the question of medic. Yes. Thank you.
I second that. I agree with that.
All right, so moved.
So, all right, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, so it's been moved to pull.
That requires a second.
Yeah, none of these votes
Okay,
require a second, excuse me. So a motion is on the floor to pull this out for 6 million, the 6 million out, to keep that in play for the medic discussion. But I would remind us, though, that with respect to fund balance dollars that are available, even without pulling this out, we would not be anywhere near the threshold, right? So Adrian, can you remind us of the amount of fund balance available above the threshold?
Yes, so if you see this little bar indicator that we've put here on the slide, the manager is recommending 95 million. You have 101 million before you hit the threshold of the 25% of expense.
So with that being said, Commissioner, I'm just saying we don't even really need to pull that.
Okay, I understand.
Yeah. But do you want to withdraw the motion, or you want to keep the motion, or how do you want to do it?
I understand you're telling me that there's enough fund balance to do both without my putting student devices to the side. But am I also understanding you that if I don't pull it out, it goes forward and it's fully funded, that is student devices? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, we vote on this tab to fund CMS with their full request. It would go to the student devices, yes.
All right, because we had been talking about if we fund medic, it's going to result in a tax increase. And now where the conversation is we can fund them both out of fund balance, understanding it creates a structural deficit for going forward, but trying to make an interim measure while we work through the problems with the study. So I just want to be clear that whereas we started off talking about a tax increase, we're now only talking about fund balance for both. Is that right?
No. We we still have multiple options on the table for medic. We were talking about fund balance as an option that Commissioner Meyer teed up, and then you came in about the devices. And so
Okay, well,
there's multiple options on the table.
So is it fair to say that the 6 million for the devices really doesn't affect the tax rate? Because in either case, it's coming out of fund balance.
Right.
So-
One time.
Right.
Right, so I'm just trying to let Commissioner Altman know that either way, like it's not affecting the tax rate, the devices.
the devices aren't, but
Right.
but we're having a conversation about whether medic would. And I'm saying we have the possibility to fund the medic problem in the short term. with this other pot of money. But let me just say that, I asked the question about how much we've spent on Chromebooks since 2020, and the answer that was received from CMS is that it's not possible to break out spending on student devices separately. I don't think that's correct. I have a specific recollection over the years that I've been here of one-time allocations for devices in the 7 figures over and over again. So I would like for a more clear answer to be provided. I am prepared to vote for this today, even though I have a lot of reservations because I don't have enough information to vote against it. But I am waving a yellow flag on a going forward basis that I'm going to need more demonstration that this is in the children, especially our younger students' best interest relative to the cost and the other needs in the system to continue to support it. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? So hearing none, is there a motion as it relates to this particular tab and the items that are outlined?
So moved.
Move to, yeah, sorry.
All right, so we don't need a second. Is there any unreadiness? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that's unanimous, Madam Clerk. All right,
So this next tab is a list of all the county programs, program by program, and it goes for several pages and includes the majority of the funding in the budget.
so Adrian, this goes through page what?
16?
Oh, that
16, yeah.
Yeah, starting on 4 or 3 and going to 16.
Almost
So
everything.
do any colleagues need any additional time to review these?
Looked at them.
You've looked, I know.
I've looked at them.
Yeah. Susan,
There, actually do have one question
Sure.
on human resources management,
can you give us the line number?
183.
183?
Yeah. This is total rewards and compensation.
I can't hear you down here.
This is line item 183, total rewards and compensation, 2.245865 million. I was just wondering if someone could just give clarity on what this is. I noticed that the one item had been pulled out, which was, little boxes of snacks or something that came to everybody as like a little mid-year reward type of thing. What are these, this isn't raises. What is total rewards and compensation? Can someone just give us?
Commissioner, this is the staff that manage our county benefits and our employee engagement strategies, and it also includes events like Employee Fest and other perks for employees throughout the year.
Okay, all right, thank you. I just wanted to clarify on that wasn't actually raises. Okay.
There's staff in that circle.
There are staff members in it. Okay, all right, that's cool. I just wanted to double check that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Great. I do have a question, too. On line 174, where we've got 5.7 million, almost 5.8 million for housing subsidy and support services. When we talk about that subsidy, how much of that 5.8 million is in actual subsidy?
I believe all of this is in subsidy. There may be some administrative costs.
Yeah, so it's a mix of both. I don't know the number off the top of my head, but it includes both subsidy and staff that provide support services for folks that are in supportive housing arrangements.
And how many people are in that? Like, so out of 5.8 million that are, get the amount, the subsidy amount, how many families do we impact? I'm just trying to figure out what that dollar looks like. The actual numbers of people.
The number of
we
subsidy
impact.
versus the number of
Yeah.
the administrative costs. We'll have to do some work.
Okay, yeah, I'm just curious. We can come back to that, but that was my question. Any other questions in this section? Commissioner Powell?
I don't know what number it is, but I was reading it again last night, and I saw money, very small amount, to live stream swim meets, which is so awesome because I get a lot of complaints about that where parents can't see and they can't fit into the aquatic center. So whoever put that in there, thank you.
That's part of capital reserve.
Thank you.
At the aquatic center.
Fantastic.
Live streaming.
Live streaming. Yeah, there's
All right, so are there any other questions?
Move approval, Mr. Chair.
All right, there's a motion to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that's unanimous.
All right, and beginning on page 17, this is a list of all of the things in the recommended budget that are funded with fund balance.
Here we go.
Well, this,
I know.
we're gonna do this, Mr. Manager. We're gonna
Right.
take this fund balance list first, and then we have some or how do you want us to do it? Is it easier if we
Well, you
don't
can-
approve of this
I will
first?
start
and
with
then
this
go that?
here.
Yep.
And then
Go
you
to our
go
list.
through your list next, and assuming your list is tied specifically to this fund balance and not the contingency.
Yeah, it's this fund
So I
balance.
would go through the existing list and then.
Do you want us
get yours.
to approve this and then go in, or just?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, move to approve the manager's recommended expenditures from fund balance.
All right, it's been moved to approve. Is there any discussion or any questions?
Nope.
All right, hearing none. All those in favor, let's just say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Now, with that being said, we do have some additional items. As you all know, I tried to compile a list, and again, if people have stuff outside this list, it is completely fine, but I just tried to make it easy for all of us and compile a list of organizational or requests, the amount, and potential use of funds. Please feel free to add any additional color around any of these items. So what we can do, and you have that in front of you right now.
Mr. Chair, I just need to ask one question.
Sure.
I want to ensure that the 95 million in fund balance has already been removed from that number that we saw on the board earlier.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Great.
It doesn't match, but like the 94.5, it says on there, and on the list that we just approved, it was 95 something.
Commissioner, that's because there is, in that 95, is some fund balance from our law enforcement and fire service tax districts, which do not apply to your policy.
Thank
That's
you.
why the number is about $1 million of variance. That's a good call out.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. All right, so why don't we do this? I'm going to just go down the list, and we can take them one by one. And so Charlotte Center for Legal Advocacy, I know Commissioner Rodriguez McDowell, did you want to add any context to this?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yes, I wanted to speak to the fact that I know that the manager and staff had said that they didn't recommend the full amount that had been removed being replaced from the previous fiscal year, and that was due to some leadership changes that were made by Charlotte Center for Legal Advocacy. Since that time, those changes, things have changed a lot. Things are getting better there. They're able to meet, they believe they're going to be able to meet the numbers. And so this is $258,000. 120 of it is veterans work. And this is for all kinds of needs for veterans, housing instability, homelessness. Also, an important part of this is their discharge benefits. Sometimes they need a lawyer standing beside them to get the proper benefits that they deserve. And so that is $120K. There's $138K. This is for human trafficking and abuse. This is for, let's see, yes, human trafficking, domestic abuse, and help for immigrants. Now, this is not immigration help. This is pertaining to human trafficking and abuse and things like that. So I'm supporting this, and I believe that we have at least 5 commissioners who have said that they would support it.
Okay.
So that's all the background I have.
Oh, so, I mean, that's great. Commissioner Griffin.
Yeah, I mean, I'm one of those that support this particular line item.
What line item?
The very first one, the Charlotte Center for Legal Advocacy.
Yes.
For 258. They do a phenomenal job, and there is a distinction. I'm not a lawyer. I can go as far as federal administrative courts. I've done that for many, many decades. But when there's a need to go into court, you need that lawyer, that bar card, and they do a phenomenal job in doing that. So I have nothing but admiration for the services that they provide in this community.
Great.
Thank you.
Commissioner Altman.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So as we get to all of these, here's what I'm thinking about. Number one, Mr. Manager, I hope you can address the process, because in a perfect world, I would like for asks to come through the manager's office and be vetted. And I know that we've had some change in our system with the community service grant program being suspended, and then, and that's created some confusion in the community where people didn't know if they had the ability to get any support, and maybe they didn't make an ask in time and therefore didn't go through your office. But that's something that's generally important to me. And with all of these, to the extent you feel comfortable, and if you don't have information or you're not comfortable, then that's fine to say. But if you do have any information or viewpoint based upon experience or research, I would like to know that for each of these as we go forward. And lastly, with all of these, if it's approved, will your office verify the expenditures like you would anything that had come through the office, through the manager's office, in terms of, if we allocate money for X, Y, or Z, will your team do the due diligence on the back end to confirm with receipts that those funds are expended the way the representations are? So that what my overall goal here is, we always want to spend money in a way that benefits the public the most efficient and responsible way. And I just want to make sure with this process, which didn't flow through the manager's office, that we're going to, as much as possible, have fidelity to that care and that accountability.
Thank you, Madam Vice Chair. A couple of things. Commissioner SRM laid it out well in terms of the reduction from the prior year. There's no question, with the exception of the transition that this organization experienced, the value that they were bringing to this community. I think we all would agree with that. However, given the concerns with the transition and how things were playing out this time last year, the decision was made. Obviously, the representatives from this organization have come to you and said that that has been addressed. So I can't validate that, but going off of their word, if that has been addressed, then I suspect the benefits from this organization will continue to be realized. In terms of process, the other reason why it was not restored is because, to your point, we took a pause on our community service grant process. And that process is going to be reinstated this fall. And along with that process, as we made it clear to you, that it's not going to be a wide reach. It's going to be very targeted based on our new balanced scorecard in terms of what we will be soliciting applications for grants moving forward. So they may or may not tie to the area that we are going to solicit requests when we reinstate that process. Secondly, as you know, not only this agency, but the other agencies that you are going to deliberate over, this is one-time funding, and we're going to make that very clear, and that we're going to be right back at square one next year. And there's no guarantee, whether it's in my budget or when it's handed off to you, that they will be in the final adopted budget next year. So this is a 1 year, if it is supported, that they'll have these dollars, but it won't carry over initially going into next year. In terms of our due diligence, certainly as long as you all give us the specifics of what you're looking for, then we will create a contract, an agreement around that, and work with them to identify some set of metrics to ensure the return on investment is met. And we're happy to do that.
Okay. Well then, so they did not come to you for the ask this year, is that right?
We've had discussions with them over the last several months, and they were presenting their case in terms of how they have addressed the management concerns.
And you weren't able to validate that, or?
I don't know how I would validate
Okay.
that. They have provided some samples of performance, but it's too close. There's not enough time to elapse to confirm the validity of if those management concerns have been addressed. I believe them, and I don't question whether or not it hasn't, but for purposes of restating it, it was not only just because of pausing the CSG and the management issues as well, but there's other agencies that we paused that did not request dollars because they knew we paused and we'll resume the process this fall. So
Okay. Well, I'm going to support this because over the years, I have observed the critical role that they have played in the courtroom, helping vulnerable residents vindicate their constitutional rights. And that's very, very important to me. I cannot specifically recommend metrics, but I do want you to have them so that we can have a good nexus of accountability for our
we'll
residents.
work with them,
Thank you.
and our start point would be the former contract that we have with them. I'm sure we can work something out.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. With that being said, you did make a motion, correct?
Did I?
She did not.
She did not, but she
Okay.
needs
I
to.
will officially make the motion. And if you could add DV to the description beside human trafficking, just to be specific, that would be awesome. So I make a motion to take $258,000 from fund balance for Charlotte Center for Legal Advocacy.
I didn't hear the last
We
part
don't
of
need
it.
a
What's the
second.
motion?
It's all good. It's a motion for $258,000 for Charlotte Center for Legal Advocacy.
Okay.
It's been
Right.
properly moved. It does not require a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, that is unanimous, Madam Clerk. All right, the next three are organizations that I am advocating for. In the packet that I provided to you, I gave you some information. This is information. These are organizations, and I'll go through them one by one, but I'm just giving you a general information right now. So these organizations came to us during the budget hearing. I also have had conversations with some of them throughout the year, learned more about the organizations. I believe two of them have sent information to the manager's office as well, through me, I believe. But the first is Queen City Performing Arts. It's Gay Men's Chorus of Charlotte and Women's Chorus. If you look in the packet that I provided, they said this $25,000 investment would directly support artist fees, educational programming, student engagement, and public access for the event. Is called the Rollo Dilworth Choral Residency. They have been in this community for many, many years. Some of these groups I just really have been finding out, sort of like the Santee organization. But in speaking to them and understanding what their board structure was, it was something that I certainly felt like I could support. This is an underserved population. It's an underserved community. And for us to be able to continue to provide a level of education and public access and awareness to a group that's doing good is something that I'm advocating for in support of this $25,000. So I would move that we would support Queen City Performing Arts with $25,000. Yes, ma'am.
My question, does it say specifically Dilworth community?
No, it's not. It's not. It's not specifically related to Dilworth community. It's just a name of a initiative that they're having. It just happens to coincide with the same name as Dilworth.
Are they organized now?
They've been organized. I don't know the exact time frame, but they've been organized for quite some time and operate in the community for quite some time. I can't give you the exact amount of time, but they've certainly been organized.
It's all right to ask those questions, is it not?
Colleagues, feel free to ask any questions we made that you feel is relevant and pertinent as we're discussing budgetary implications.
And my last question deals with, will it interfere with the school, high school specifically, programs that they have in arts with the music?
So this is a request to come from fund balance. So the CMS, anything we've done with CMS budget has already been approved previously. All of these additional requests are going to come from fund balance, so they're going to be one-time allocations.
One time.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you.
Commissioner Powell.
Did they apply for any arts and science funding, or do you know if they're getting it? And they
I
just
don't know.
And they just don't have enough?
I don't know. I know that there's this gap that they were trying to fill, but that's a fair question, but I'm not sure.
I see that they're in one of the North Mecklenburg high schools at Huff.
I'm sorry?
They're at Huff,
They're at Huff.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am.
Did this come through the manager's office at all?
Where's the list? So the one that I received some communications on is line 340, African American Male Wellness Agency, and also the Gantt Center. I don't.
Can't hear you, Doc.
Also the Gantt Center.
This one, Mr. Manager, this one was one that I sent to staff as well.
The Gantt Center?
Not just, all of these
all of-
actually
okay.
came through. I know it was quite some time ago, but all three of these went, I made sure went to the manager for visibility to be routed accordingly. But frankly, it was some time ago.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out how I will, I know of many arts organizations, choirs, LGBTQ choirs. I don't know how, if I hear from any of these other wonderful, meritorious organizations, they ask for me to do this, how do I tell them yes or no? I feel uncomfortable, especially when, it's not something directly tied to, arts is part of what we do. It is important, but I just don't know how I say yes to this. And then when I hear from these other organizations, how I tell them yes also or tell them no, and what the principled reason is. So I'm a little struggling, and I would welcome hearing from my colleagues on this.
Commissioner Leek, you had a question.
No. Not about the choir. I did have, because I asked, but you said it was one-time funding.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. Commissioner Dunlap.
So I would suggest this, that just about everything on this list has another agency in our community that competes with it. There are other agencies that do behavioral health. There are other agencies that have festivals. There are other agencies that have after-school programs. There are other agencies that do food insecurity. And so to determine whether or not you're going to support this one because somebody else might ask, it can cause some real dilemma, no question about that. But, and I won't tell the little joke, but the bottom line is these people did ask. And so we're dealing with these requests. And so make a decision based on whether or not you support these specific requests.
Commissioner Griffin.
Yeah, I just want to weigh in. I've heard the chair articulation about these programs, and I think they're certainly well-serving programs in the community, and I don't have any reason not to support them, so I do support them.
Thank you. Other comments? No?
I think you answered my question, but I still have a concern as it relates to Harvey Gantt, those centers that charge a fee to come in to the facility, plus what they're getting from the county.
So we're not on the Gantt Center just yet. Let's
But
stick with two.
I just cited that.
Right. We're coming to that in just one second. Let's
Move us along.
dispose of this.
I call a question on this.
All right. The question's been called. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right.
It's just for
It was just for this one.
for that.
yes. Okay. With respect to the Gantt Center, again, you have, and Commissioner Leek, I'll come to you in just one second. But again, you have an abstract. This was what was sent to the manager's office with respect to the Gantt Centers. request. I don't believe the Gantt Center we've ever funded them.
Some time ago, I believe when they first opened.
When they first
we provided them some dollars, but that was discontinued.
Okay. Well, the request is $25,000. I've outlined the different programmatic efforts over there. The Envision Me, which is Title I, focused on Title I schools, photography and filmmaking programs. You guys have heard me say in the past that I don't believe that we should be throwing basketballs and sports equipment to everybody in this community because we have, there's different interests for children, and those who are socioeconomically disadvantaged are not all athletes. And so I visited with them. I saw the space is incredible where they are teaching these kids and the use of the equipment and the free use for the community. There's also a youth residency program. It's in partnership with My Brother's Keeper. And again, most of this is educational programs. The Mecca of Digital Arts Studio is over there. It's incredible. But nonetheless, I think the work that they're doing and for them to be coming to us for not a millions of dollar ask, but for educational programming, I think was something I definitely was supportive of, and I would advocate for that. So I would move that this be approved. And then let me come to Commissioner Lee. I know you wanted to speak to this.
Which one?
To the Gantt Center?
I've already spoken. I said,
Okay.
in that you said it was a one-time process. My concern was the monies they receive through charging for affairs that they have there. So they do have a budget.
They do have a budget. I don't know what the amount of their budget is, but I do know that they are they do have to generate some level of revenue for the programming that exists there.
And no problem there, but just wanted the general public to know that that agency has been out there for some years, as others have been out there for some years and have been supported by this board. I have no problems with that, but I just want to make sure that if they are receiving, if their budget states that they're receiving X number of dollars, not just a grant, but any of them from other agencies, how will our monies impact the success of those agencies?
All of the fund balance requests will be specifically tied. So no organization will receive the fund balance request if it does not meet the contractual obligations that they commit to. So
That's fine, that's fine.
Okay.
That's good. But there's still some questions out there.
Sure. Commissioner Dunlap.
I'm going to make sure that we don't get in trouble. And so as the chair,
I can't make the motion. Thank you. Go ahead. Thank you. You're right.
Thank you.
so you can allow the vice chair.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, I think Griff has me on this one.
Yeah, I'll make the motion.
Thank you.
For the Gantt Center for
All right.
$25,000.
Can you tell me what contractors are? Like for this, what would their contractors be?
No, it's not. I was saying, Commissioner Leek's question was about how do we make sure that our funds are not commingled with some other funds? So all I was saying is they would have a contract with the county for the $25,000, and it would be specifically outlined how the funds are used.
And it would, like on here, it says that they are, working to screen at least 500 individuals, so that would be part of it.
No, it would be for the programming for Envision Me.
Oh, I'm reading the wrong thing.
Let me
A
see.
specific program.
Envision Me, the youth residency, the digital art studio, and the Family First.
Yeah, she was on the African American.
I turned that, I was on the wrong.
Okay, yeah.
So they don't have a goal for an audience, or how many people they're going to reach?
For the Gantt Center?
Oh,
No,
20.
there's not a specific, there wasn't a specific number.
20 motivated students. It's in there.
For the Envision Me, that's one, but there's multiple programs that are included in
Okay,
here.
that helps.
So it's Envision Me, and if you go.
I got it.
The other ones.
Thanks,
Okay.
sorry.
No, you're good.
Thanks.
You're good. All right, so Commissioner Griffin made the motion. Any other questions, comments? Hearing none, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, so
Chair
that would
Jarrell?
be 25,000. Yes.
If I'm not mistaken, you made the motion.
I couldn't make the motion,
I
I'm
made the
sorry.
motion.
Commissioner Griffin
previous-
had to, I can't make a motion
Oh,
as
the
chair.
previous.
For the previous one.
He
Once
did,
you go back
and so we can go back, but I just wasn't gonna let him keep doing it.
Oh, thank you. So we need to take that one over for the
Okay.
men's chorus?
Okay, I can make the motion for the Queen City Performing Arts Chorus of Charlotte,
All right, all those in favor say.
25,000.
Aye.
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 All right, any opposed? No opposed. All right. All right, so we cleaned up now?
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Chair Emeritus, appreciate you. And Commissioner Powell, this was the one that you were talking about with the 500, with the African American Male Wellness Agency. And so this organization actually was funded, received some public health funds last year in the tune of $10,000. They do the health screenings. And so, you know, one of the reasons why I really support this organization, obviously they've been doing it, but when you look at health disparities, particularly among African-American men,
Thank you.
you know, it's just really deplorable. I mean, we're not getting screened, whether you take any screening that we're supposed to have, and we're at the bottom of it. And so I think any efforts in the community, and they were already serving and working with public health to an extent. And it certainly aligns, I feel like, with our board priorities, but it was something I definitely felt passionate about trying to continue to support, and particularly with the numbers that they are able to hit during their community engagement. So that's why I was advocating for this $25,000.
So moved.
So moved.
It's been moved. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, ayes have it.
And Mr. Chair, just so you know, Dr. Scott and her team, they're prepared to also provide in-kind support for them
Thank you.
for their next event, too.
Thank you, Mr. Manager, appreciate that. And now we'll move to Santé Behavioral Health Mobile Crisis. Do you want to speak to this, Commissioner Meyer?
Sure, I can speak to this. We have $50,000 as a request. They've requested $128,600, which I would like for us to consider because, and as we all know, the state has the behavioral health bucket, but they, as always, they are not coming through. And I did talk to Dr. Campbell about this. And I know that they have recommended they go to our hospital systems, which I completely agree with, as well as push more from the state. And the fact is, it comes back to the county. They are helping our citizens. It is a mental health crisis response organization, and though we don't know it, we may not feel it, they are heavily invested in our community, and I would like to really advocate for them. And you know, there's no secret, I'm a huge behavioral health supporter. We need, and it's there, it's real. We need to support Santé. So I would,
Want to do the full request?
I would like to ask for the full request, 128,600, I think was the, let me look, to be certain, and I'm happy to go over what that go, it's occupancy, which is their basically their office building equipment and non-capital office program supplies and transportation. What we have on our list is 50,000, which would cover their transportation and their equipment and non-capital.
Let me come to Commissioner Altman, Commissioner Leek, and then Dunlop.
Dr. Kim, do you have anything further to add?
I guess what I would add is that they have been in the community for 20 years. They are the only mobile crisis service that's in our community. It involves sending licensed clinicians out to crisis calls, and that service prevents people from having to go to the emergency department. And that is the primary reason that I recommended that the hospital systems contribute, because it, you know, diverts people and frees up space in the emergency rooms to serve other people. So Mike and I actually talked with Atrium yesterday about Asante and our recommendation that they partner together. And so they are willing to have that conversation, so that was good.
Okay, well, I really thank you for pushing on our partners over at Atrium. I'm going to support this. They do provide 24/7 coverage across the entire county for someone having a mental health crisis in their home and out in the community. Thank you. Commissioner
you.
Meyer.
Before I go to Commissioner Lee, the clerk has a question.
I think that might be for Tyrone, but if they ask for a specific amount, do we put the motion as the breakdown or just the amount itself? The specific, like for transportation, for this, for that, or just the total amount?
I do want to just ask a question for clarity so that if this goes forward, how we implement it. I understand 128,600, and I believe that was 20,000 equipment, 30,000 for transportation, and then I believe the remainder, that 78,600, you said was for occupancy?
66 for occupancy. Office and program supplies, 12,600. Do you want me to go over it? I can go over it again.
You can forward, and we can forward it to you
Okay.
as well.
Yeah, I'm happy to do that, too.
We have it via email. Let me go to Commissioner Leek, then Commissioner Dunlap, and then Commissioner Powell.
My question was answered.
Oh, gotcha.
My
Commissioner Leek.
question is $50,000, and then I'm hearing her say other monies needed.
Yeah, scratch we're not doing it's not going to be 50,000. Her request is 128,600. We've changed that.
Will that interfere with the increase in tax for my people?
No, it will not.
It will not.
No, ma'am.
I do want to answer that. This
Let me
is one
finish.
time, and I am not asking for us to fund it in the future. And like Dr. Campbell said, they're speaking to Atrium. I think that is fantastic. I think we should speak to Novant too, and the state. But this is just one time and will not affect taxes.
Yeah.
For equipment and staffing? Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying, Myra?
Yes.
Just one time?
Yeah. One time. One time.
And so, I did want to speak to this because I did not know about this organization. I had no
Never heard
clue
of it.
that we had, and they've been around for like almost 30 years doing this work. They had a tremendous amount of data, and I thought, so I'm glad you went with the 120.
Where are they located?
Off of Tyvola Road.
Okay, very
Yep, that was their main office. Commissioner Rodriguez McDowell.
I just wondered if anyone here, any staff folks can tell us if this truly is the only mobile mental health crisis, because Commissioner Powell and I did visit someplace several years ago, and that was doing mobile crisis mental health, and I didn't know if there's anybody in the room who might remember. We can't remember who it was, but I don't think it was this organization. Sorry. Yeah, I thought maybe Dr. Scott.
Dr. Scott, are
was
you
here.
where?
Is she here? Oh,
Where is she?
She's over here.
Okay, sorry. I'm unsure, but we can get those numbers for you and see if there are any other groups that provide mobile crisis. Dr. Campbell, that Santi is the only one I'm aware of through Anuvia.
okay. All right, thank you.
Okay. Was there a motion made?
I make the motion.
Well, did you have something, Commissioner Powell? I'm sorry.
So I just wanted to make sure it was one time, because we have to have an expectation from Atrium. And I'm really glad that they're pushing
I agree.
the Public Hospital Authority. Thank you.
The nonprofit hospital authority.
All right. You made the motion, so all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. It's unanimous, Madam Clerk. On this one, I will go to Commissioner Powell.
Thank you. So I'm asking for $500,000 to be restored into the Environmental Leadership Action Plan. It was taken out at last fiscal year because we had concerns about cutting the budget, and so I'd like to have
You
it
say it
put.
was environment?
This is for the Environmental Leadership Action Plan. The need is much bigger than that, but I just want to restore the funding with this one-time funding because the invasives are going wild. Like we had speakers talk about it. They're not just in our nature preserves, they're in our parks, but they're also in the water. And so we're having cyanobacteria that we have to treat. We have to share the cost with the Catawba Watery Management Group. And it's really important to have this funding there. So moved, adding $500,000 back to the Invasive Species Environmental Leadership Action Plan dedicated funding for this 1 year. Hopefully it'll become continuous. So moved.
Thank you. Commissioner Altman.
Dr. Johnson, can you speak to this, not only this year, but what the trajectory has been over the last couple cycles and what your recommendation would be?
You have anything on this? You have anything?
Gladly to provide some context, but I also may use a lifeline and have Nick also share.
Yes, or Nick.
But I will give you the 100,000-foot response.
500,000?
Yeah, 500,000. When, as Commissioner Powell referenced, in the previous fiscal year, there was a reduction, as noted, and the reduction was primarily due to the department's ability to spend when they were trying to get contractual opportunities and so that funding wasn't spent. And so since the funding wasn't spent, and because we were trying to make tighter financial choices, that's how it was removed. Don't know where the ability is to spend. When you know that you're doing invasives and alike, you have to deal with your weather and environment and alike, and so sometimes you can put money appropriately there, but it may not be able to be done in the amount of time. So that's what was the basis of why it was removed. I don't know if they have had conversations with contractors and alike to see if there's ability to take on that additional workload to be able to spend down on it. The last thing that I'll note is probably it could have a little bit more spend just by virtue of the fact that there may be additional cost, like the price of today may be different than the price of tomorrow, but I can't account that that's 500K. But I'll also ask Nick to weigh in for additional context.
Thank you. And Nick, can you talk about what it was, what it is now, baseline? Thank you.
So can I also ask if you would share with the board what that looks like? We talk about invasive species. I've seen areas that have been treated, and I've seen what's happened before. I've seen what happened since then. So make sure the board understands what that looks like.
Certainly. So essentially and correct me on the dollar figures, but it was 1.5 million in FY'25.
I believe there's 1.1 million in the 27 budget, and that is reflecting the reduction of the.
Yeah, and so again, there was a $500,000 reduction based upon ability to spend. The last update we got on this was that there was $20,000 remaining in this year's funding, which will be spent by the end of the fiscal year. There were several factors that Dr. Johnson alluded to, primarily getting the contractors and managing those contractors. Part of that was that we went a lengthy period of time without someone over the natural resources team, which directs that underneath the nature team. Isaac's been on board now for the better part of a year, reflected by our ability to effectively spend it. The other thing that I will say that factors in is the conversation around additional type of invasive treatment that the commissioner brought up, which is assisting partners with the treatment of algae in the lakes. That is something that, again, is relatively new in this space, but it is also expensive. As to the variability, some of this also has to do with our contracts with North Carolina State Forestry, who we reimburse for expenses related to the contract that we have with them. And although there is a not to exceed amount, does vary, my understanding is that they have also become much more effective. So again, now, as to what invasive treatment is, it is primarily focused in our nature preserves. They are huge parcels of land that 90% of them are not activated spaces. And so that is a great environment for invasive species to come in and do damage and propagate and then spread outside of the nature preserves. However, another reason that some of the costs have increased is that we have seen the need for us to treat invasives. And so traditionally, invasives are species that are not native to North Carolina and can do damage. And again, I don't want to pretend that I am Chris Matthews or any of those people with like ology degrees. So I won't like try to pretend I can tell you all of the species that we're talking about. But we are talking about species that, if left unchecked, will do damage to the environment. We will start to see impact to properties that surround our properties. And so we have an obligation to treat those things. That being said, something that team has said, and I think is an important context here, is that it's a huge problem. And it is one that we could throw infinite amounts of money at, because it's not something that you treat and then you're done, to Commissioner Dunlap's point. We treat and manage to make sure that we keep it in check. And that's really all that we have the capacity to do. So hopefully that gives you some idea.
That is helpful. What I'm hearing from you is that it would be 1.5, but you didn't think you had the capacity to spend. What doesn't totally bother me, because if we're pulling out a fund balance anyway, if you can't spend it, it's not like there's an opportunity loss, because it would have sat there anyway. So, and if in the determination of your subject matter experts, understanding you're never one and done, it is about management, and it's important to manage because it can destroy ecosystems that we need for our community, really. You know, what I'm hearing from you is that this is what you know, 1 or 1.5 million, you think the need is greater in terms of the balance of all of our obligations here. Is that a fair summary?
Yes, I would say that I think that the need is there. Correct.
Okay, then I will support it.
Thank you. Commissioner Leek has a question. Nick, hold on one second.
Who owns the land and property that you're making reference to?
The property that we are responsible for is county-owned property. I was just referencing surrounding private property owners, that if we didn't manage, that it could spread onto their property.
So you're saying that we would be taking care of their property too?
No, ma'am, no. I'm saying our responsibility is taking care of our property, and that is what the funds are used for.
And the reason I'm asking that, when we talk about the wellness people who happen to be African Americans, and the money is only $50,000, and we, not 50, but 25, and here we're talking about over $100,000 for water.
Mm-hmm. That is one of the many contracts that we support in doing this work. I don't believe this request is specifically addressing that.
I can't hear you.
That is one of many contracts that we execute. I don't believe that the intent of this was to address that specifically. We're paying that now.
So you're asking us to continue to pay it?
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Powell is asking us that. Commissioner.
If it wasn't such a tight budget year, I would be asking for a lot more. I'm just asking to restore the 500,000. So moved.
All right, it's been moved. All the questions have been asked and answered. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
How many? Who's 2 nay? Okay.
You
All
make the
right,
vote?
next one on the list is
That's
a
rare.
$15,000 request for Charlotte Soul Fest.
What is it in?
This was one that, this is a annual community event, attracts about 8,000 people. It's held at First Ward Park, which is in my district. It's a one-day, high-impact event designed to connect residents directly to essential services, whether it's health and wellness village. It includes blood pressure, glucose, cholesterol, A1C screenings, mobile mammograms, flu, COVID vaccinations, sickle cell blood drive, health education, navigation services, affordable housing, community empowerment village includes direct engagement with Dream Key Partners, NACA, Commonwealth, Charlotte, Habitat for Humanity, and Enlivian. There's rental assistance guidance, home ownership pathways, financial stability resources, And then arts are intentionally integrated as a strategy to increase participation, reduce stigma, and build trust, ensuring residents engage with these services. I can tell you that public health has a team. It wasn't outlined here, but the county is always present at this event, as well as a ton of vendors, and it is well
attended.
Well attended. So again, I believe.
So moved.
I'm coming to you.
It's well attended.
Commissioner Meyer.
I just wonder why public health doesn't have that in their own budget. Why was it overlooked?
So public health is providing staffing support for health educators, our screening units. So at the time, that was the request of us to make sure that we had staff available to support in that capacity.
Okay, so we do support it in general. It's already supported. Okay, good,
Yes.
okay.
Thank you for
I
that.
support this.
All right.
So moved.
Susan made the motion.
It's been, okay, so yeah,
So
Susan made the motion already.
you moved? Oh,
Thank you.
She's on the board?
She is not on their board. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed.
Mr. Chair, is there expensive?
It's 15,000.
15.
Is it earmarked for a specific purpose? or it's only just-
Yes, there was. Actually, let me come back, because I put public health related, but I'll give the specifics to it, sure.
And it's
All
open
right.
to the general public.
It's
Yes.
open to the general, it's a free event, absolutely.
Thank you.
Next one, I'm going to turn to Commissioner Griffin on Greater Enrichment Program.
This is a program that's been around for decades, but
Yes.
to tell you more specifically, I was at Thomasboro Elementary School on yesterday, and after school, they bring these kids in to provide after-school tutoring. They've been doing this for a number of years, but specifically on yesterday, I was at Thomasboro Elementary School, and these are kids who English language learners, as well as kids who need additional support. The positive piece about this is that they're engaged their parents. And that's oftentimes, you won't see this in a particular program. So it's at several schools. I can't even think of the school off of Eastway, Mary Oaks, yeah. But there's several sites throughout the county. They work in conjunction with the public school systems, and it's an after-school program. During the summer, when school is out, they provide services for these same families and children. So it's a worthwhile program, and certainly one that we should be supportive of.
Let me come to Commissioner Leek, and then.
Thank you. Bishop Battle founded this program years ago, and it has been well supported by the general public, and especially bankers downtown support it, depending upon who heads it. And this has been one of his major fundraising processes that they have to take care of the children in that district, in the school district. And it does lend toward education. I remember when he first started the program at Northwest School. It wasn't the School of Arts then. And a young lady on staff wrote the proposal, and Barbara, English teacher at West Charlotte at the time, was
Barbara Davis.
Barbara Davis helped write that program. So I'm supporting it, have always supported it. And they get major funds from the general public to enhance this program. So they're not lacking for money.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
So move.
It's been moved. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, that passes. Next one is Metrolina Association of the Blind, Commissioner Meyer.
Thank you. So back in, I want to say 2025, they did receive the $340,000 through community service grants. Is that, okay. And then last year, we cut the grants. And if this year they don't get it again, is going to be detrimental to them. And I want to explain that what this part of this money will go for right now, sitting on their desk, is $190,000 in unpaid receivables because of uninsured and underinsured. And honestly, I can't believe I just said that insurance is not paying for blind services. It just is shocking to me. We live in that world. But we do, and I know we can't be everything to everybody, but I feel like we can be this for them. And I feel like this is something that this county needs to support, and I think our residents across the board would support this as well, without a doubt. Thank you.
Commissioner Altman.
Thank you, Commissioner Meyer. I think that this community doesn't get sufficient support and consideration for a lot of really serious challenges, and that we should support living in a community where we take the requisite care and concern here. So I will definitely be supporting this.
And I want to add that, thank you, Commissioner Allman. I want to also say that this is the only organization doing this work west of Raleigh. And the money that, all the numbers that they have given us is for Mecklenburg County residents only.
Thank you. Commissioner Leek.
Supporting this, I think this was my first experience seeing the blind attend our meeting and asking for support, and the need is there. So we need, this whole community needs to support that program, and they don't have outside resources from which to pull from, as other agencies do have. So I'm supporting this 100%.
Thank you. And Commissioner Meyer, thank you for raising this. I support this 100%. There's two things that I do want to bring up. I was at I participated in a forum where in a group of individuals who were visually impaired. They talked about the transportation, and the cost of transportation for them is astronomical. It is outrageous what they have to pay. Also, the conditions under which they're traveling is unbelievable. I know that there are special transportation services for them, but some of the experiences that they lifted up are certainly things that we need to look into. So in addition to the covering the insurance piece, in the future, I would not be surprised. I know that it's possible and highly probable that I will be advocating for some level of transportation or some level of service, because of the things that they lifted up was it was just horrific. I can't imagine riding in a vehicle I can't see, and it has terrible suspension, and you're bouncing all around and different things of that nature. And so, this is a community that needs to be heard. They deserve to be heard, and I'm glad that we are lifting this up at this amount. Did you have something?
So move.
All right.
I just wholeheartedly agree. Like, it is so important, and yay for them for coming to the chamber to be seen and heard.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And if you haven't gone to Lion Services, I would encourage everybody to stop by there and pay them a visit. But I think everybody on the stage has been there. So it's been moved. All those in favor? Yes.
There was no dollar amount stated.
Oh, $340,000, sorry.
It's been moved. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Next is Brighter Day Outreach, Commissioner Griffin.
Yeah, I wanted to lift this organization up. They started delivering food to residents in the Hoskins area over near the Carolina Farm Trust area. And they started off real small with a few cars coming. Now they're overloaded. They need to actually expand because they have more people coming in, and they don't have enough area to store some of the foods that they're getting from different places. So $75,000 is what they're asking for. They sent a proposal. I'm sorry I didn't put it in this pack to share it with all of you, but they have bumper-to-bumper people around the corner on Morgan Street. It's off of Hoskins, if you're familiar with that area where the Carolina Farm Trust is located. It's about a block and a half from Carolina Farm Trust, and they provide food services for people in that general area. That's right. And it is. I'm just sorry I didn't submit any pictures, but it is bumper to bumper when people are looking for food. I think it's absolutely.
Absolutely.
I think it's absolutely crazy.
Commissioner Lee.
but it's only $75,000.
And we have supported this program before, but the growth has grown so much so, and I have attended those gatherings that they have at this church on the corner there. So sits right in the heart of District 2.
Absolutely. Is there a motion?
So move, Mr. Chairman.
It's been moved. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Next is Crisis Assistance Ministry, Commissioner Rodriguez McDowell.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move that we add $100,000 additional eviction prevention dollars to Crisis Assistance Ministry. As we know, the eviction rate in Mecklenburg County is skyrocketing.
Yes.
I believe it's reached 52,000 this year. And Crisis Assistance Ministry is funded in other parts of the budget. This 100,000 would just go directly to households. This is 150 households would be stabilized through this money at about $657 per household. And so I understand that the need is much greater than 152 households, but this is just, I'm just asking for 100,000 to help. So moved.
Thank you. Commissioner Meyer.
I'm going to support this, obviously, because let's not forget that eviction can equal homelessness. And everyone has, this is a crisis situation. It's not a revolving door. This is helping people in need. It's really simple, and it's an investment in the people who live here. Thank you.
Thank you.
I meant to include, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, finish because you sponsored this. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
sorry, I didn't write it down in my notes, but I meant to include that all of these dollars are, they have to have a plan of how they're going to not need the dollars the next month. And so all of these folks who are receiving these funds are getting the one-on-one service through crisis assistance, through credit counseling and stuff like that.
That's a great point. Let me go to Commissioner Lee, Commissioner
Yes.
Altman, and Commissioner Griffin.
Crisis assistance is in dying need of more support than ever before. People are suffering within the confines of these areas that we are talking about now. So I'm just grateful that we are making sure that they are included. And many of them are receiving support from various agencies that we sponsor. So I'm supporting this 100%. So move, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Commissioner Griffin.
Yeah, Mr. Manager, I certainly support this. As Susan has indicated, evictions are going up in Mecklenburg County.
And that's what
the
I
sheriff's
said.
office is continuing to serve eviction notices on folks. One particular area I would love some insight on, and I'm not sure if we even have the capacity to do it, but just put this somewhere on your Rolodex, evictions out of affordable housing neighborhoods. We're providing affordable housing units, and the question is, are people not even able to afford affordable housing units in this crisis? So, but I clearly support this, and wish that we could really take a deep dive in terms of evictions because they're escalating, and we need to figure out a way. And thank you for the economic upward mobility and workforce development that should help to some degree to stabilize folks in their homes. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Altman.
Mr. Manager, what are we currently allocating to crisis?
The total budget, Yolanda, do you?
I've got that number. It's
Lonnie, you got it?
It's 2.2 million is what we have for crisis assistance ministry.
Okay, so currently in the budget's 2.2, this would bring it to 2.3.
That's correct.
And what was your thinking around your recommendation?
Well, that's the current funding in the budget now, so there was not a recommended increase. I think there's a strong business case for that $100,000. The facts are the facts, so I'm fine with that.
Thank you.
Commissioner Meyer.
Just so that I understand, the money in the budget for this is also used by county, correct?
That's correct.
It's basically a shared pot between crisis and county,
Well,
doing
it's
the same
managed-
thing.
And Yolanda can clarify this, but it's managed by the county
Okay.
in support with crisis assistance.
Okay, all right, that's fine, thank you.
Commissioner Powell.
So Commissioner Meyer, you said it's not a revolving door. How do they make sure of that? How do you know they're all first time?
They're not first time.
They're not all first time, but they don't always get money either. They turn away people all the time. Every day, they turn away people.
They do. But I'd also like us to remember, you know, when you are on a slippery slope socioeconomically, it is very difficult to get out of that hole. When you get behind 2-3 months on rent or whatever the number is, and you're trying to eat and keep lights on and you know, your daily functions, it is very difficult. And so, yes, they do turn people away, even with the best of plans. But I support this 100%. But I would just always remind us that, you know, people are going through some very difficult economic times, and it is hard to stabilize. We see the incomes and we see all the data that, you know, speaks to where a lot of people in Mecklenburg County are, and it is hard to live here, as you pointed out earlier during our medic conversation. And so, yes, we're turning away people, but with that 155, we got a lot that really are slipping into homelessness, unfortunately.
Mr. Chair, if I can go back to our Vice Chair's question, just as additional context, Dr. Campbell and I did meet with Carol Hardison last week to discuss their increasing need. We did not end the conversation with the ask for this year, but certainly going into the next cycle, we'll have some additional conversations, and there may be something that will land in my budget for next fiscal year. Not guaranteeing that, but we are going to continue to dialogue.
Thank you for saying that, thank you.
Thank you. So it has been moved. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Next is, I'm going to turn to Commissioner Powell. I coded it as Mech Wild Van.
That's good.
Okay.
Well, so Park and Rec bought the van, I think during COVID. It's a couple years old. It's at least 4 years old, I think. And I haven't gone to look at the mileage, but I don't think it's at 1,000 yet. So it hasn't been utilized. And so as a pilot, we have the van. It's a nature van. There's another one in Fairfax County, which I think I sent you a picture of to describe it. They call it a Wonder Wagon. It's nature on wheels. We take nature to communities that really don't have any exposure to it. So, like, one of the strong themes of it is having equity in environmental education. And also, you know, like some people do, like they live in urban areas where there's no nature. So anyway, we have this van. We need part-time staff. We need to show how it works. We need to show how awesome it is. And I thought this could be a great way to do a pilot where you had the part-time temporary staff and the resources they need, and the number came from Park and Rec staff. So I asked them for an estimate, and the $39,000 is the estimate to do a 10-month pilot program.
Okay.
So moved.
All right.
$39,000 from
Commissioner
fund balance.
Altman.
Nick, can you speak to this? If it didn't originate from your department, I would like to know why not, or what you think of this.
Certainly. So we do have the van. It was purchased with ARPA dollars, along with a wreck and roll van. And both
Talk
of
in the
them.
mic, please.
Oh, sorry. Yes, ma'am, sorry. We have two vans that were purchased with ARPA dollars. There is a recreational van and there is a nature van. There are not dedicated staff for either of those vans. The nature van is currently being used on our Saturday programming that I shared with y'all, the second Saturday of every month. I would agree with the assessment that it is not utilized to its originally intended point. We did present an option for a different staffing model that was evaluated and ultimately did not make it into the budget. This is a strategy to have dedicated staff to it instead of pulling people from individual centers based upon availability. As to whether or not I support it, it is a strategy, and I think it would definitely lead to more utilization and more regularly scheduled programming, not based upon availability of staff, but based upon availability of need, which is great. There are a lot of communities very similar to the mobile library and the mobile internet lab, the ability to bring this programming to parts of the county that don't have nature preserves does have immense value.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Other questions? Nope, it's been moved. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous, Madam Clerk. Last item before we go back to Medic is going to be Commissioner Powell, Carolina Raptor Center, deferred maintenance.
No.
So Carolina Raptor Center is our only bird hospital in Mecklenburg County. And so it is a mobile crisis unit. It's a stationary asset, nonprofit located in Huntersville in Latta Nature Preserve. So I think everyone has been to the Raptor Center, I hope.
What district is that?
District 1. It's District 1. And so the long-term executive director died, and they've really had a hard time recovering. Like, it's been like fractured, and they're having a hard time. So now they have a permanent new executive director. He's brand new. And so he wouldn't even have known how to submit it to the county yet. Like, I was talking to him yesterday about how to do all that. So I went last year to look at the deferred maintenance of the Carolina Raptor Center bird enclosures, the buildings that the Carolina Raptor Center built. These are not Park and Rec assets. They are Carolina Raptor Center assets built by Eagle Scouts and volunteers and things like that. And yay for them, like really good people. But it's deferred maintenance. So when you go into, if you've seen an injured raptor, they have to teach them how to fly again. And so there's a flight enclosure it's like as long as this room. And it's so dilapidated. And so when I was talking to him yesterday, I was like, he was talking about, their concerns about the deferred maintenance. And so then I called Commissioner Jarrell and said, I'd like to add this $10,000 for deferred maintenance. For the deferred maintenance, this doesn't even come close to covering it, but it'll help them get ready to get the materials, especially for the flight enclosure, so that the birds can learn to fly again. Because
Did you say birds or men?
Birds, and so all the birds that they take care of are federally protected raptors. So I moved to take $10,000 for the Carolina Raptor Center for deferred maintenance for their flight enclosure out of fund balance.
Okay. All right, it's been moved. Commissioner Meyer has a question.
Is the Raptor Center part of our Park and Rec? Is that?
It's its own
separate organization?
It's a nonprofit.
But we do use them for other things, do we not? Didn't Charlotte Nature use their space for some storage of, didn't we do
There are
that?
2 buildings out there, I think. Aren't there 2 buildings out there?
They rent,
So it's a kind of a benefit,
they're a very good partner.
yeah, okay.
An
We're a
excellent-
partner, thank
They're a
you.
very good partner.
All right, I support this.
Let me go to Commissioner Altman.
Mr. Manager, this didn't bubble up in your budget, what you're thinking?
I don't have any comments on this one.
Okay, is there anyone on your staff who might?
I think.
If not, that's fine.
Nick and I are playing, kind of eye contact.
Nick?
I honestly don't think he has any comments on this as well. This is
He
your
doesn't.
call.
Okay.
It's not in my budget.
Right, the tension is always doing good.
Well, I'll say this.
While, yes, sir.
My message to you all haven't changed. You have to demonstrate fiscal discipline, and you can no longer be all things to everyone. Whether it's $10,000, $100,000, or $1 million. I'm trying to move away from the county stepping up and being all things to everyone because we can't afford to do that. So that's my response to that.
Yes, I respectfully agree, and with apologies, Commissioner Powell.
All right, it's been moved. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
All right, that's 2 nays.
Yeah, you're Raptor Center.
All right, So those were all of the requests that I received. So thank you, we went through those. Now, we've disposed of that. Now we need to go back to the conversation with respect to medic. All right, I know people have had time to think about it, and there's some questions. I'm going to go with Commissioner Altman.
Thank you. And thank you, Mr. Chair. I do think it was a good idea to give some time to marinate on it. You know, I want to have parity. I want to have fiscal discipline. It is unclear to me, based upon your presentation, what Medic is actually making, because what I'm hearing from you is their compensation structure is different than ours, with different signing bonuses and so on and so forth. So if we were to put a certain amount of money in restricted contingency to give you the time to find out, do the math, and confirm for us what would it take to give parity so that we treat them the same as the rest of our staff, how would that land with you in your recommendation?
Well, JP can speak to this, but the dollar amount that was presented to you by DCM Ramos factors all of that in terms of what is required to move that lowest wage to the $25.53. However, he's acknowledging other factors in terms of compensation that Medic has at their disposal. They offer bonuses and things like that. So it's kind of situational. It's a little difficult to add that number because we don't know how many bonuses they may award in any given fiscal year. So JP and team made some assumptions in terms of what that cost would be, and that's the number they presented to you, that total $3+ million. And JP, you're welcome to, if you want to clarify anything.
Yeah.
No, sir, I think you hit it there. Just for additional clarification on the bonuses that he's talking about, we do a quarterly performance pay bonus for our field staff and our dispatch staff. These are frontline folks. And it's based on certain performance metrics that are approved by our agency management committee and our board every year for what those metrics are going to be. And so it's not a guaranteed. It's based on their level of performance, based on those performance. And that's really the biggest difference between an hourly rate employee at Medic and maybe an hourly rate employee in the county that doesn't have an opportunity to receive that.
Thank you. Commissioner Dunlap.
So, Mr. Chair, the reason I asked for them to study this is because I certainly had a concern about the rate of pay. However, you can't just pretend that you didn't hear what has been presented. And that is there are bonus structure, other performance measures where employees are being paid that could conceivably increase their compensation over and above county staff. And we always talk about staffing, and we complain that the state hadn't done its job because the state doesn't give us money for certain employees. And so we supplement state employees, and we complain about that. So now, face the reality, Medic employees are not county employees. And you heard the manager say earlier, you know, there are some county employees who are not even being compensated the way they should be compensated. I support them having a living wage, but I think, and let me say this one other thing too, historically, when the county was facing issues about parity and pay, and we did broadbanding and all kinds of stuff, and we were giving employees monies in advance of a study that we were going to do, and it took a couple of years to get all that stuff straightened out. And so now we want to figure out a way over and above the budget, even consider a tax increase, which I certainly will not vote for, to again compensate another agency that is not a county agency. And I hear the passionate plea, and if I tell somebody, you're not paying this employee enough and somebody might die because they don't get there fast enough, oh, there's a reason for me to support that. I hear the, I'm just concerned that if we keep going out of our structures to compensate other agencies that are not our responsibility, it's a hole that we'll never get out of. Right now, the budget itself is digging its way out of a hole because of all of the other issues that we're facing. And I can't tell you how many times I've heard the manager say, exercise restraint. Help is on the way. They're going to do a study. And I don't see a mass exodus happening between now and the time the study is being done. I don't know what else to say other than, yes, I support them being compensated, but in this budget cycle, I will be voting no.
Thank you. Commissioner Leek.
I think I mentioned the fact that I heard the city council people last week talk about the same issue. So then, to whom is Medic responsible to with the budget? Is it the state? Is it our city councilman? Because they're giving you an increase, and I'm not against the firemen, because I heard Ms. Mayfield talk about the firemen are the first people there, and I doubt that seriously, but I can't measure that from listening to the sound of the fire trucks moving. I just wonder about those whom we had years ago complaining about the cost of Medic, riding in an ambulance $700 and $800 and not able to pay it. We had people running for office to change that process some years ago. Am I right, sir? So I can't ask us to do what we can't do. And we cannot be all things for all people. And some agencies have already received monies from us for the last 20 years or 30 years. And I asked for that information. How many nonprofit organizations have been on welfare with the county? And so that's where I am. I cannot support it, Doc. I cannot support it at this point. And I hate to say this, but sometimes we have to say no, and I'm not going to support a tax increase to do it. I can't do it because my people can't afford it. We're already talking about subsidizing those people who are recipients of funds already through the county. And our staff, we need to provide daycare for people who work for us. Other businesses do it, and we don't do it. So there are many ways that we need to look at how we can support agencies in the county. Is the state supposed to be supporting the fire department? Yes or no, sir? And thank you.
So, Commissioner, just to clarify, this is only
He's
about...
answering it now.
But I just want to clarify one thing before he does answer. This request is only about medic, not about fire. So, go ahead, JP.
And thank you for that clarification,
Oh, I'm
Commissioner.
sorry.
So this is just for medic, and by state statute, the county is responsible to provide EMS. So
The county is responsible?
Correct. The state does not fund EMS.
The state does not fund.
Correct. The county.
Thank you, sir.
Right.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Commissioner Griffin.
Thank you.
Yeah, let me just make sure I got it correct. JP, the medic director, deputy county manager, Ramos, and county managers indicated that you reviewed this issue. You've made a recommendation that it will be addressed next year based on whatever the data comes back to you from the study and otherwise. And so I'll just support the county manager.
Thank you. Commissioner Rodriguez-McDowell.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to make a motion that we take the $3.5 million out of the fund balance. Y'all, there's $101 million in fund balance, and we used 1.6 in all of those requests that we just made. We have plenty of room in fund balance, and in my view, this would be a bridge to the study so that folks can have an immediate livable wage. And while we are sitting on this fund balance, in my view, we have the ability to make these funds available now. And after the study's done, I certainly hope they're not going to recommend anything less than a livable wage. So this would be like a bridge funding until that study is completed. So I'm asking for support for $3.5 million, 3519882.
All right, so we've got a motion. I know we have some additional questions. So I just want to clarify. So, Mr. Manager, based on that motion, it would essentially be a bonus allocation per employee. I'm assuming that that's the way it would be structured.
It's essentially creating a structural deficit, whether you call it a bonus or a plug or number, it's a structural deficit. Can I offer up a few things for consideration?
Yeah, please do, and then I'll come to Commissioner Powell.
Number one, I appreciate Commissioner Griffin recapping the recommendation that was developed both by DCM Ramos, JP, and of course, me and my team. And I want to thank JP publicly for being a team player and recognizing our fiscal reality and balancing that with his team. He's been a good partner, and he remains a good partner. And I got to say publicly and speak down to anyone that has criticized him for not putting forward a request, because that is not a fair representation of JP and his leadership. It's a representation of him being a good partner with Mecklenburg County and giving consideration to our fiscal reality. So I want to thank him for that. Secondly, as I listen to the comments, number one, this board made it clear to me at your retreat you did not have an interest in a tax rate increase. And I honored that in my presentation. And my sense is that you still don't have an appetite to raise taxes even today, whether it's from Medic or anyone else. I also would push back on any statement or something that implies that the county is not supportive of Medic simply because their pay increase is not representing this budget. That too is far from the truth. JP has stated to me and others that he is very appreciative of what the county has been able to do and fund in my recommended budget. So I sense you don't have an appetite for a tax rate increase. Also, I would highly recommend that you don't repeat what you did 2 years ago and create a structural deficit.
Thank you.
Pay now, pay later. It's all the same. That is not fiscal discipline as well. So I encourage you to stay away from that. Also, we have to be careful because if you're going to set precedent regarding considering funding another partner and their increase, there may be others to follow. We have other partners such as CPC, the court systems, and others that are in the same boat, a similar boat. I did what I am supposed to do as manager of this organization.
Yes.
And that's take care of 6,400 employees. I don't apologize for that. I told you all that I was going to do that. Historically, the county has a history of taking our growth revenue and even when there's a tax increase and give it to our partners. This year, we rethought how we did our budget and I invested in county, our departments, and our employees. And I don't apologize for that. Now, in light of the way this discussion is going, for your consideration, as an alternative with respect to you not wanting to raise taxes, and certainly I encourage you to not create another fiscal, a structured deficit. Embedded in Medic's budget, as I made clear to you, I made a down payment on the study for next fiscal year with baselining dollars from general fund. And historically, when it comes to replacing ambulances, we would utilize our fund balance. So as part of that down payment for this year, I added $2.2 million to fund ambulances with the intent of that being reallocated next year to go towards the study. So the option that you have is we can revert back to our general practice and fund those ambulances to the tune of $2.2 million. And then that will free up what I baseline for the study to go towards the minimum pay for Medic. Now, my expectation in doing that, because just like I did in partnership with my departments, and they gave us $38 million so I can invest in my employees, every CEO has the same opportunity to do the same. And I would expect Medic to do that. And JP has actually agreed to do that. So we can repurpose those dollars to go towards that. That leaves the annualization of about $1.4 million. And we can work with JP to identify those dollars in his budget as we go into the next fiscal year. And then in return, you would appropriate $2.2 million in fund balance to replace the ambulances that I'm currently funding with the down payment for the study of next fiscal year.
Gotcha.
So I offer that up as an alternative based
So
on
moved.
your interest.
So withdraw the motion.
Okay, I withdraw my other motion and move what the manager has suggested.
But I want to be on record and saying, again, you may be setting precedent with the expectation that every time I move my employees up to a living wage, that you may have other partners to follow. I'm going to put my employees first. I'm going to invest in our organization first.
Thank you.
So I want you to be clear on what the ramifications could be moving forward.
Thank
But
you.
I offer that up as an option.
All right, so she did move to take the manager's recommendation. Give me 1 second, Commissioner. Let me come to Commissioner Powell because she hadn't had a chance to speak yet.
Yeah, well, I think I have to go over that again to make sure it doesn't hurt everything.
It doesn't hurt nothing.
It won't hurt Medic.
No.
Okay.
It keeps them whole.
Okay. And they would get the 2553? Like,
Yes,
with
they would.
this switch around, like we take 2.2 million out of fund balance right now.
Yes, what that in essence is doing, worst case scenario, that 3.4 million, it includes an effective date of December, and then it would have to be annualized next year, which is that 1 million. So the 2.2 that we're going to swap with fund balance, that will support the expense for this fiscal year. And then, as I stated, I expect JP to identify means in partnership with DCM Ramos on how to cover the annualization of 1.4. But by adding the 2.2 in fund balance to go towards the ambulances, it keeps them whole. The impact of this decision is there's no down payment, or the down payment for the study next year is 2.2 million less. Tracking with me? So when we get the study results next year, and there's, let's say it's an $80 million request, just throwing a number out, you have $2.2 million less to go towards that study, as I was trying to take advantage of the runway that we have this fiscal year.
So just, talk me through this. If we add the 2.2 million to this fund balance for the study, in addition to the 2.2 for the ambulances, that makes them more whole.
You wouldn't have to, I would suggest not appropriating any fund balance dollars for the study this year, because it's fund balance. You still have the same option next year. What I had initially was general fund dollars.
Okay.
So I would stay away from appropriating any one-time dollars to go towards the study to offset this option I put in front of you.
Hold on.
So I just.
Can't have it both ways.
Thank you.
I get it. I just want to make sure it doesn't hurt them.
It doesn't. It
Okay.
keeps them whole.
JP, do you feel like this proposal by the manager, do you have any thoughts around the impact as the director?
Thank you for asking me that, Commissioner. I support this. We will make this happen.
Can't hear you.
I support this. We would absolutely be able to make this happen, sir. Yes.
Okay. So I want to come back to Commissioner Powell, but I wanted to make sure that you.
I do too, and I'm really glad you called him up here.
Okay.
So, thank
I
you.
wasn't calling him up here because I doubt what the manager's saying. I just wanted to be able to hear directly from JP.
I totally get that. And I could barely sleep last night because this means so much to me, like your life experience. So 40 years ago, I helped open Mercy South. And we were waiting for patients. We opened the hospital. And so the first people that I ever really worked with and met were EMTs. And I remember thinking, like, I wish I had that skill set to be able to respond to all these different emergencies, like really bad things. I wish I had that skill set. It's amazing to watch them. And in my neighborhood the other night, there was an explosion and fire in a house down the street. The people that stayed the very longest were medic, to make sure that every firefighter that might have smoke inhalation would be okay. And they did have to transport a firefighter, I'm told. So it means a lot to me through my life experience. It means a lot to me as a representative of District 1. It is a top priority in my district. I like the way that Commissioner Griffin calls it a first-order priority. It is a first-order priority. All throughout the budget book, which I read 3 times in slow motion, we talk about promoting a safe and prepared community and supporting employees in our workforce. I don't know the history. I did ask you, Adrian. I don't know the history, but my understanding from employees in the emails that you probably saw is that every time the county went up, medic went up. So they felt slighted that they weren't included in this budget. But I want to make sure that everyone that worked on the budget knows that I'm aware how, like, there's so much good in it. There's so much good in the budget. But we are the county commissioners, and we have to speak to a gaping hole when we see it and hear about it. And so I barely slept last night, and I feel better knowing that we have a solution. But then I also think, like, thank God we have a solution, because here we have the spreadsheet that Adrian made where we have almost $502 million covering a state void. And if we can find $502 million to cover a state void, we can find $3.5 million for medic. And so I feel way better. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Let me come to Commissioner Meyer, then Commissioner Dunlap.
Thank you. JP, can you come back up here? I'm sorry. You're getting your exercise. Who also helps pay for the wages of medic besides county?
So Medic does with our billing and collections that we do. So it's a team effort between us.
It's a team effort. So it's not just on us.
No, it's like private insurance.
No.
So it's insurance and you know,
Yes,
it all
That's
goes
correct.
into.
That's correct.
Okay. I support this motion. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Dunlap.
Well, first of all, I want to thank the manager for offering up an alternative. And I want us to be mindful of something else he said, and that is that we have a lot of partners. And so when we do this for one agency, Commissioner Leak mentioned last week, Central Piedmont employees have asked that we do the same. They are a partner. Court employees have asked us to do the same. They are our partners. CMS has asked us to do the same. They are our partners. The Sheriff's Department, also employees of ours. All of them are not up to a livable wage. The library, and I can go on. The fact is, it's kind of hard to do it for one if you're not willing to do it for all of them. And so I want you to keep that in mind. Now, I'm going to support the manager's alternative recommendation for the following reasons. Number one, it does not increase taxes. Number two, it does not create a structural deficit. Number three, it funds the pay that I believe medic employees deserve. And number four, I trust my manager. Thank you.
Thank you. I've got a couple questions myself. One, I want to echo what Commissioner Dunlap said with the manager offering up an alternative solution. You know, one of the things that I did mention to a couple of colleagues, I really didn't think it was fair to put it back on you necessarily when it's our budget and we needed to make some tough decisions, but I do see the wisdom in leveraging your expertise. I'm going to put it that way. So thank you for that. One of the things that I heard JP say, and well, I want to be clear. So your medic staff will still get quarterly increases? They'll still get quarterly increases. And so if I heard that correctly, and Mr. Manager, do county employees get quarterly increases?
No, they do not.
Will your team will get quarterly increases or reviews?
We would still continue their quarterly performance-based pay.
Can't hear you.
The answer is yes, we would still continue our quarterly performance-based increases. And it's not an increase, it's a performance bonus.
Well,
So it doesn't-
performance
but
bonus or whatever, it's an addition to their pay.
Yes.
So theoretically, it can outpace county employees' base.
That's right.
Would that be fair to say, Mr. Manager?
Yes.
Yes.
Theoretically, right? Because we're bringing them. So
May I respond to that, sir?
please.
I'd just say it wouldn't be really any different than it is today, prior to the wage increases, because we currently match the minimum wage for the county, and that's been the practice of the quarterly performance bonus.
Right, so you're outpacing our county employees,
Correct.
right?
Yes,
So I mean, that's about the point, that's the point that I'm making. I mean, I don't mean it disrespectfully. I guess I'm trying to articulate, I'm just wrestling with.
And you're underscoring the point that DCM Ramos was bringing to you.
And let me be clear, because I don't want to go down some ridiculous rabbit hole, right? I'm not saying they don't deserve it. I'm not saying that. People put their lives on the line. I agree 1,000%. They deserve double that. What I'm thinking about is somewhat of an equity equation with respect to county employees, where I'm making a decision that they could potentially come under a community partner that is a very important partner. So I'm just saying I'm struggling because our employees don't get the quarterly performance bonus or whatever. And so we're baselining them, we're going to be baselining them at the same salary, but then they get
Less.
the quarterly bonus. I have to come back to that, Commissioner Altman, and then Commissioner Rodriguez-McDowell.
The essential argument that has been made for Medic has been one of fairness. And the deeper we dive into this, the less clear it is. I think Commissioner Dunlap did a really important, made a very important point when he walks through the sheriff's office and all the different, non-county partners that we fund, who sometimes really do put themselves in dangerous positions, such as DSS workers who are going into homes that are can be very stressful and contentious and dangerous. I want to ultimately get to an outcome which is fair, and I don't feel comfortable that I can make a decision today that achieves fairness. And is Mr. Manager, while you're, waving magic wands, is there any placeholder interim measure that would allow us, I want to underscore what George Dunlap said. I think him naming all those other partners, when they start coming to us and wanting the same treatment, what are we going to do? I want to be fair. I want Medic to be treated fairly, and I want our other partners to be treated fairly, with a special emphasis on those who are in high stress, sometimes dangerous environments, especially. And do you have any insights or wisdom as to how we could finish the business we need to do today, but not, I don't feel like we have enough information to know what is an equitable way to proceed.
My immediate thought is a combination of the two. The original recommendation that we brought forward to you this morning, and then the alternative that I'm sharing with you. If you want to put the 2.2 in a restricted contingency, and that will give us some runway to work with JP. We'll have the study, the analysis that DCM Ramos referenced, to give us more time to work with JP to get a better grasp on how we're factoring their total compensation structure, along with your intent to bump up their wage. That is what comes to mind initially, is bridging the two together.
So my intent is to bump up their wage so that they have parity.
Right.
And to the chairman's point, we do need to take care of county employees. And so I don't know how to, I don't know procedurally where we are with Commissioner SRM's motion. I don't know if it's timely for me to make an amended motion, but if it is, I would ask you, she rescinded it. I would ask you to help me frame it, articulate the actual verbiage,
I didn't
and then
rescind.
open it.
I rescinded the original one, and then I made another
Your
motion.
motion was
to
based
support
on the
what the manager's
manager's
recommendation.
recommendation, right? So that's the motion that's on the floor, and we were just continuing discussion.
Okay.
So it was based on the manager's recommendation. So what we've got is, I'm sorry, because.
Well, why don't we get more input from colleagues, and then we'll know what motion
let's not
to tee
take
up.
let's not take any substitutes or amended motions right now. Let's hear from Commissioner Powell, then Griffin, Leak.
So I just need a better understanding of the bonus structure from JP, because I think maybe we're misinterpreting it. Like, how many employees get a bonus? It's not like everybody. And then we have a bonus structure. The county has a bonus structure. It's just not quarterly, it's annual.
Thank you for asking that, Commissioners. And you are correct, it is not everyone. It is just a select few frontline employees who have an opportunity for this performance pay that is not actually quarterly. It pays 3 times per year, a maximum of $1,000 per time, so a total of $3,000. We have not met that total for the last couple of years just because of certain performance metrics that we haven't met. So it is, I don't know the exact number of people or the percentage, but you're really just looking at our field staff and our communications staff, so EMTs, paramedics, and dispatchers.
So out of your.
Derek can speak to that as well, if you allow him to comment.
Please.
Sure. Just wanted to clarify that the bonus incentive process that JP's outlining, which is 3 times a year, is incentive pay up to $3,000 a year, correct?
Correct.
And that is separate and distinct from a merit process that your employees are also eligible for, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And we talked about the manager supporting Medic's request to support a 4% merit for Medic's employees, an average raise, and for county employees, our average is 2.5% for reference. So it is difficult to do apples and apples there.
But it's just kind of like a gold star thing, like if you're doing really well, you get the bonus. And it's just a very few out of your 700 employees.
Correct.
Okay, yeah, I think there's a misunderstanding.
You said you don't have the numbers in front of you, so I don't want to put any misinformation out there. Okay?
Yes, sir, correct.
We don't know if it's a small number or not. And also, isn't there a hiring bonus as well?
Correct. Sign-on bonuses for EMTs are up to $1,500, and sign-on bonuses for paramedics is up to $6,000.
And those are all structures we don't have in Mecklenburg County.
Let me come to Commissioner Griffin.
Thank you.
I'm trying to recall, maybe you can help me, somewhere in these documents, they said that medic was $21 an hour.
2101.
Did I miss that?
No, that's right. That's right.
It was in the.
2101.
It's 2101 somewhere?
One Adrian sent.
Okay. Now, isn't the county $20 an hour?
JP, just stay up there while we're having this conversation, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I need the steps.
So my only question is, you know, for 3 years, when Dean was here, I was fighting because the county was at $20 an hour. And medic, I understand, it's at 2101 an hour.
For EMTs.
You already a penny more. Is that correct?
Only for EMTs. So our minimum wage for all other positions is $20 per hour, matching the county. It's about $1.07 or so more an hour for EMTs. Remember, EMTs have to have a state certification to be EMT and go to school to become an EMT, right? So they make a little bit more than folks that work in our logistics department or in our billing department or other departments within medic who are not EMTs or paramedics.
You know, this is a lot of information at the 11th hour for me, Mr. Manager.
We said we.
But anyway, all right.
Thank you. Commissioner Leek, you're up.
Commissioner Lee.
Oh, you.
Commissioner Leek?
I hope I'm quoting us correctly, that we were going to accept the recommendation of our manager and not change the process and not raise any taxes. And I'm not against firemen or anybody getting a pay raise. If that's the case, I want my women to get money for childcare. Add that to it.
Commissioner Dunlap.
JP, we've heard now two different pay structures in addition to base pay. Is it conceivable that, number one, a person could receive both or all, even the $6,000 signing bonus, whatever, that those total compensations would exceed what the county is currently paying?
So that's a great question. Let me start by answering the $6,000 sign-on bonus. That's for recruiting. We are still recovering from our staffing shortage from a few years ago, and so we use that bonus to recruit paramedics to come into this organization to work here. And they get a certain percentage of that up front when they join us, and then they have to work for us for a full year before they get the remaining of that, and then they're no longer eligible for that. Employees that are currently with Medic are not eligible for that. So that's a very small number of folks, and in the last few years, we've only been able to recruit from outside about 6 to maybe 10 paramedics. So it's a relatively small amount of people that are even eligible for that. To your point, when we did this analysis on what the new minimum wage would be for medic, if we went to the $25.53 an hour, we took into account the folks that are below, which right now, it's about 270 or so of my staff are below $25.53 an hour, so about 40% of medic staff. We took that into account of getting them up to at least that base wage, and then taking some ability to measure compression, right, for other folks who are already at or above that $25.53 and where they would move, right, and then what paramedics would move to too, because right now, current starting wage for a paramedic at Medic is $25 an hour. So that particular starting pay for paramedic has to move up as well. And we've taken all of that into account, and so in the $3.5 million that you have been speaking about this morning, all of that is taken into account to make sure that nobody's going to get some exorbitant increase. It's all just based on making sure we get people up to at least the minimum, and then taking care of that compression analysis, getting everywhere else.
All right, two more questions. So in order to get everybody up to the minimum, that means those who are paid currently over and above gets bumped up.
Get bumped up too.
To some degree.
Yep.
But they get bumped up.
To some degree, and then some of that also based on, merit, whether it's 2.5% or 4%.
They do get.
All right, so let me re-ask the question that I initially asked when I asked for the study. Given the total amount of money that Mecklenburg County is giving Medic, is there not a way that you could take those total dollars and reconfigure them in such a way that you could create the pay structure necessary for them to be at a livable wage?
Within this fiscal year budget, sir, is that what you're asking?
Yes.
So we have done that analysis, and we do not have any additional room in our budget to be able to afford to do these raises, in addition to the 4% that we already have on the table.
All right.
All right, team, we're going to land this plane. I've got a couple things, though. Derek, do you mind going over the information that you just shared just a second ago, please?
Sure, Mr. Chairman. I had mentioned that in addition to base pay, in addition to base pay, MEDIC offers an annual merit process, which is similar to what the county would utilize, annual merit.
Can't hear you. Speak up.
I'd mentioned that in addition to our base pay, MEDIC also offers annual performance bonus, similar to what county employees are eligible for. MEDIC employees are also eligible for incentive pay, which is what JP mentioned, is 3 times a year, up to $3,000 a year if they meet certain metrics. And in addition to that, as JP just spoke of, new hires are offered sign-on bonuses of up to $1,500 if you're an EMT, or up to $6,000 for paramedics. That is one-time payment for recruitment to recruit new staff in those positions.
Thank you for that. So for me, initially, I was, the motion on the floor is what the manager recommended. And so, you know, I hear my colleagues, I hear their passion with respect to supporting MEDIC, and there's a need for that. And I also understand the implications, the Pandora's box that we're about to open up. I'm still really struggling with this issue of parity or equity with respect to our employees. Because again, how many, you have 270 that are below the 2553.
That's correct.
And so based on compression, everybody, it gets some bump, some are 3, some are 5, some are whatever, it's all over the map, just depending on where they are currently. I guess at this point, again, just to land this plane, I'm going to support the manager's recommendation, but I'm going to just caution us, now that if this passes and now that this Pandora's box is open, that we're just really putting ourselves in just a really difficult spot with these other partners. It is. Yeah, we're just putting ourselves in a really, really difficult
That's exactly right.
position, knowing that, you know, all of them deserve this. But we are not creating a structural deficit, and that is something that I'm 1,000% against. The way you've reallocated it, Mr. Manager, I think makes sense. But I guess moving forward, I would hope that JP, as you guys look at your budget, that you don't come in next year with something absorbent that really makes you guys an outlier relative to our employees as well.
No, sir, we would not do that.
Commissioner Altman.
Just to be clear, the manager's recommendation was responsive to,
Yeah, I appreciate that. That is the option. My recommendation was presented by Derek and JP earlier.
so there was-
I offered up an
No, that's
alternative.
right. You had an option.
right, so there was
Thank
the
you.
original manager's
That is my
recommendation. Then you came forward with something responsive to what I think Commissioner
correct.
SRM was putting on the table.
That's correct.
And then finally, I had asked you if there was a way to protect the opportunity while we get greater clarity on getting to parity and equality. And I thought you did offer a possible way to achieve that that doesn't commit us to Pandora's box while we get a little more clarity.
Well, yeah.
And what would that motion be?
That option for your consideration is marrying the two, and that is placing in restricted contingency the dollar amount that I propose repurposing, the $2.2 million, to allow medic and county staff the opportunity to go back and reassess everything you talked about, as well as factor the study results that will be conducted as well, and bring that back. That will sit in contingency, and we'll have to come forward to you all with a recommendation and a report out of the results of that, and then you all decide whether or not to release it.
Okay, well, I don't know how procedurally to make that, but I would like to make that motion at the right time.
We'll do that.
Let me go to add to what the manager said. The exact number that we've written up here for the ambulances is $2,293,759.
Thank you.
Just so you have the exact.
Let me come to Commissioner Rodriguez McDowell and then Commissioner Dunlap, and then we'll come back to Commissioner Altman.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just think it's sort of like to say that this stops us, this idea of restricted contingency keeps us out of Pandora's box. Okay, Pandora's box is open, y'all. I don't know if you, it's open. So I think we may get people coming to us and saying, well, we're a county, we should be the same as the county. We should be the same as county. Okay, well, those things that are within county responsibility, I think we all support that they should get livable wages, right? I mean, whether it's sheriff's department or library, we all believe in that. So wherever we're not there, but that's a discussion. If we're not there, the Pandora's box is already opened. And if this is, I support doing what the manager was saying. I support my motion and not putting it in a further restricted contingency, moving ahead with this, and then we'll have to take on all the others come what may for the FY'28. But, we have to deal with what we have now, in my view, so.
Good. We're going to go to Commissioner Dunlap, and then we're going to figure out this motion. Okay.
Stop it.
So at this point, right now, Commissioner Rodriguez McDowell still supports her motion. Commissioner Altman is here and may want to make a substitute motion.
Procedurally, what happens next?
Substitute motion is voted on first.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, then I will ask the manager to assist me in articulating it, but I think I am moving to place in restricted contingency the dollar amount of $2.2 million.
$2,293,759.
Thank you. To allow the manager's office to get with Medic and our other partners and factor in the study results and come back with a recommendation that addresses all of these concerns.
And I believe also for what you all have discussed, for that to work, you would also need to appropriate the fund balance in this amount for the ambulances.
And do what Adrian just said.
Does she have to say
Appropriate the fund balance.
restricted contingency?
Restricted contingency
Just
is what
add
he
restricted contingency.
And to place this in restricted contingency.
No, sir.
Okay.
Which means that.
But is that the manager's recommendation?
Well,
It's an option that he provided. It was an
It's
option.
an option in response to the Vice Chair's question.
Is it acceptable?
It's your decision.
All right,
Well, then you
so we've talked about this ad nauseum, okay? We need to land this point. What's your question, Madam Chair?
Michael, I'm having a problem with the motion being correct, and I want to make sure that it's to place in restricted contingency $2,293,759 to allow them to go back to Medic to factor in the study results and come back to the board with the findings.
Thank you.
Is that correct?
Thank you, Ms. Smith. Can I ask you to make it cleaner so
Fine with
it's
that.
better for the clerk?
You good with that? Since we're going to be working on this together, I want to make sure you're fine.
Well, if I'm being honest, I'm not sure I completely understand what that means. Does that mean we would move forward with the 2553 now, or it means we would look at it
We'll
later?
go through what was presented by you and Derek on my behalf, and then we'll present that to the board once that has been completed. And then they will decide whether or not to release it from contingency.
Okay, I understand. Yes.
And do you need, Madam Clerk, for the manager to improve on my language, or is it good enough?
I mean, I don't know if that satisfies what you're trying to.
Yeah, I think the manager understands what I'm asking for, and he's articulating it better than I am, so. And I think the board understands, and hopefully the public.
Commissioner Powell.
I'm just totally against this. Restricted contingency. It just delays it. It's like Commissioner Rodriguez McDowell said, Pandora's box is open. This just delays it. It's dispiriting. I'm against it.
Thank you.
Okay.
Commissioner Dunlap?
Oh, no, I'm ready.
All right. So all those in favor of the substitute motion proposed by Commissioner Altman, let's see by show of hands. All those opposed? It's 5-3, Madam Clerk. All right. So that was the last item that we had in this. So I want to thank everyone for going through this. I know it was
Chairman,
painful there at the end. Yes, Mr.
there is another item,
The final action, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
which is to adopt the budget and to have staff
all
bring
here.
back. Okay, you
What's
can
that,
read
what's
it.
that motion?
It's number 4 on the,
Thank you.
Mr. Chair. Yeah,
Yeah, I got it right here. Thank you.
item number 4.
All right, so we do have a final action. Thank you for bringing that to my awareness. The final action would be to direct staff to develop the FY 2027 operating budget ordinance for the board's adoption on June 2nd.
Second.
Motion.
So move.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor, say, let's see by show of hands. All those opposed? That is 7-1, one opposed. All right. So that was the final action that we need to take up today. Adrian, thank you so much for your
Thank you.
help.
All of it.
Let me do this. I know that I do want to give people an opportunity for final comments. I'm going to go with Commissioner Griffin because he has to leave, and we'll just make it a quick 2 minutes.
Well, I just wanted to thank everyone for the process. I want to thank the manager. There were 2 critical pieces. All of the budget is critical, but 2 things really stood out for me. And one was trying to move our folk towards a living wage. They're not at a living wage, but towards a living wage, all right? The other is no tax increase. And I really appreciate those efforts. And although I have serious reservations about the recommendations from CMS because of the reading issues, I'll probably go to my grave with those as long as they can't tell me how many kindergartners can count to 10. But I appreciate the process. What you're trying to do is to get some fiscal discipline within us and your approach by using the balanced scorecard. And so I appreciate all my colleagues in terms of your efforts to make this thing work, because in the end, with dwindling resources, we got to be able to, what the chairman says, live, work, recreate,
And you're gonna die, so you better
All
put
right.
that in there.
So I appreciate the process, and I really thank you all, and you know I got to leave here shortly.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Meyer.
I just want to say thank you, and I'll reserve most of this for June 2nd, or 3rd, 2nd. But thank you so much, Manager. We really appreciate your work and your dedication. And Adrian and your whole team, I hope you guys are proud. And I said this before, I hope you all take a vacation soon. Thank you.
Commissioner Altman.
I agree with Commissioner Griffin. The watchword is fiscal discipline. It's hard to do. And I have just so much gratitude for your leadership, Mr. Manager, and to try to be fair and do equity as we tighten belts. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Commissioner Powell.
No report.
Commissioner Lee.
Good. I guess I want to congratulate our manager with his recommendations, and we had said we would accept his recommendations. That's why he is the manager. It's interesting to see the personalities who operate around this table of 9 of us. and how we operate and when we operate, with whom we operate. And I think you said something that lends quite a bit of support to this community, that you support your staff. And if you stop supporting your staff, you're in trouble. So I value your background and your experience. You've been here 27 or 28 years, so you know more than any of us sitting here as to what should and can happen. So based upon that, whatever your recommendations are for me, I'm going to vote directly with you and not with Greenways, not poor people getting jobs. And this budget speaks directly to the needs of the people of this community, and I'm not supporting a tax increase for anybody. I said it, and I said it publicly. I didn't hide behind anybody to say what I had to say. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Commissioner Dunlap.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Certainly, I want to thank the manager and his entire staff. I've seen the number of questions that have been asked, and I've seen the rate and efficiency in which those questions have been answered. You know, this is a deliberative process that I really enjoy. You make your best case, and then people vote their conscience, and then we move forward. So I think we have done that today. I want to thank our chairman, who did a great job in keeping us at a happy day. Not the 15 minutes that I expected, but you did a good job. But I also want to thank my colleagues. You know, we all have different lenses. We all grew up differently. You know, I always say this thing about invasive species. I grew up with them. But I do understand. So I look forward to our finalizing the process on June 3rd so that we can deliver a budget on time for our constituents, unlike our state government.
And federal.
In budget, unlike the federal.
Right, in budget.
And federal.
Commissioner Rodriguez-McDowell.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, I just, I'm disappointed in the last, development here around putting money in restricted contingency, waiting around. You know, I just really disagree with that. I voted against it, but in the end, I had to vote for, the budget as a whole. I appreciate those places where I got support for the things I wanted to fight for. I am glad that it isn't a closed door on medic getting that minimum wage. I do wish it wasn't going to be delayed. But I do think, Pandora's box, is real. Like there's a lot of folks out there who are not making a livable wage. And those that fall under county responsibility, we have to, I support us getting everyone to that livable wage. And so I think that's a task that we have to take very seriously. And I just because I disagree with, or I'm asking for something different from the manager on this, doesn't mean I don't 100% respect the manager. And I think that this process and what I've seen, I've been so impressed. I couldn't stop myself from giving him a giant hug when we first got the budget. So I feel like there is a real difference, and I really see that and appreciate it. But, we do have to fight for the things that we're elected to fight for. And that's not wrong to put your values out there. So, so thank you, to my colleagues as well. I think that this was a good process, and, I appreciate it.
Well, thank you. Thank you all for your comments. I do want to say to the manager and to the entire staff, once again, obviously you all have heard from the board how much we appreciate exactly what you've done, all the effort Mr. Manager, you told us from day one that you would be prepared for multiple options for consideration. I think you've come through on that. Colleagues, I want you to know how much I really respect each and every one of you, the advocacy, the fight, the support. We don't always land where we want to land, but the respect is never lost. The intention of communicating values is never lost. And so one of the things I just would always ask us to remember, this board has done some great things, some amazing things. We are in lockstep, I would say, about 95% of the time, but 100% of the time we find a way to navigate and get to where we need to be. And I don't think that this will be any different moving forward. Sometimes delay does not mean deny. And I think this may be the case with respect to that last item. I know we'll land the plane, but they certainly, the medic team could certainly see that they have fierce advocates, but they have total support. And we appreciate that. And so, colleagues, once again, clerks, I want to thank you. And of course, the production team, you know I could not leave here without saying thank you guys so much. And with that said, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Moved and
Second.
seconded. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Meeting adjourned. Thank you.